The ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I'll bring it to your city or your hometown. I'll go back in time when the feeling was fine. When funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way. A bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funk was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
Speaking of which, we're live.
We both. Oh, are we live? Okay, we're back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is David. That guy back there is Matt Harmon, and we're finding out a lot about each other during the countdown.
Yes.
David, how you been, man?
When you texted earlier today, he's like, "Hey, Skype's still live." Like, sweet. So I go to load it on my computer. It says, "No, we're done."
It must be a regional shutdown because it's still live here where I am. I have no problem with it. It's really laggy. I mean, you can tell they're shutting stuff down, but we're making it work.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've been busy. I mean, that's just that's the normal thing when you're old and befuddled. You stay busy.
I mean, I've often called you old and
for the
befuddled.
man.
Old,
Working for the
befuddled, and
man,
working
yeah.
for the man. That's David's life story right there.
It's a dream. How about yourself? How are you guys doing over there?
Too darn busy. I needed about 5 more hours today to get all the stuff done I needed to do. Matt, what about you?
I am incredibly slow right now, but I'm about to get really busy. So I really just napped today. A lot of napping.
Okay, all together, we're going to give a big FU to Mr. Matt.
Matt actually has a lot going on.
you.
He can't talk about all of it here. But after the show, he's got a lot going on. Actually, some pretty impressive stuff that is kind of top secret. So he'll tell you after the show. It's actually pretty good news. I'm not even being sarcastic. It's pretty good news.
It's actually very good news.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Laura L. Lyons Black says, "Hi guys."
Aw, hello.
Yeah, I don't have the comments on my screen. It's not coming up on the live. It's not coming up on this side until you post it. It's not coming up on the live stream until I guess you posted. All right, alrighty then. So everything's working great.
Yeah, that's
technology
fine.
is really working in our favor today.
This
evening, everything's just like spot on.
Speaking of which, I'm actually going to cut my screen sharing back to you just to save any bit of bandwidth we can.
Okay.
I doubt it's going to help too much because I think it's just Skype slowing down.
While you do that, I'm going to pull this crazy blanket out of my seat that I was like, hey, should I move that before the show? And in my head, I was like, yeah, and then I didn't.
Well, speaking of you being old and befuddled, you should just drape it over your lap.
Yeah. Well, I was because if I draped it over the lap, there's a risk of me hitting this microphone and knocking that cable out. So
right, that is the worst.
Cable.
So these Shure mics are great mics, but that cable connection is the flimsiest little thing I've ever seen in my life.
The new generation with the USB-C port on them is really, really good. The ones with the micro,
yeah. I
mean, we bought these at an age where it should have not been a micro.
Agreed.
When we bought them.
Agreed. But even so, the USB-C are not super great either. I have a USB-C connection. I have a Mac, so all I have are USB-C connections. And half of them just fall out for absolutely no reason at all.
Yeah. Well, I've got an interface box around somewhere that I can just use the XLR output from it. Then that's another part, and I'll be damned if it's to me, it's just another part of failure, or another point of failure. And we didn't need that tonight, so
no,
I said no.
No, it's. I think we're pushing Skype as far as it'll go. So I think all things considered, we're actually doing pretty good.
I'm off of Skype.
You're off of Skype, so we're going to try using Teams next week. We're going to cross our fingers, see if it works. I really, really, really don't want to give Ecamm any more money than I possibly can because I hate that company. But I also don't want to give Bill Gates any money either. So that's a whole different story altogether.
You're caught between a rock and a dumbass, please.
I'm just a stingy, angry old man is what I'm finding I'm turning into.
Speaking of which, I just gave you money because I want another bag of Underdog dog treats because they're so damn good.
You gave me money?
Yeah, I just sent you $10.
Oh, you just bought it? Did you buy it online?
No, I don't want to pay for shipping when I'm right here.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Oh, sending me a text that says sent me $10. I don't think it's the same as sending. Oh, it's Apple Cat.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Underdog dog treats are.
I thought he just sent me a text that said sent you $10.
My dog loses his mind every time I open the bag.
All right. Well, around the corner over there are a couple bags ready for orders. Pick out whatever flavor you want.
All right. If you like Underdog dog treats, you should buy some.
Go to UnderdogPlus.com. Get your delicious Underdog brew bones. We have peanut butter, apple crunch, and apple bacon. The pumpkin spice are actually seasonal now, so those won't become available until late August. But
they come out with basic white girl coffee drinks.
That's it. But look, it's a marketing tactic, but it works. So, but the apple bacon are actually amazing. Your dog will thank you. They're basically cookies without the sugar.
And they're good for cocktail parties.
That Matt actually, I'm not joking, Matt actually dips them in his whiskey. I'm not legally allowed to say that you should, but this guy does.
They're actually really good. Although I'm not legally allowed to say that.
You're allowed to say it, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. David, what are you drinking, man?
Well, I've slowed down. And I've got to behave some more.
Okay,
so I got another bottle of Blanton's.
There you go.
And I like getting a bottle of Blanton's because you get to take the sexy little. Well, I've slowed down, and I've got to behave some more.
Okay,
so I got another bottle of Blanton's.
There you go.
It's just a bottle of whiskey.
Oh,
there we go.
so Old Crow apparently goes commando.
Yeah.
Good to know. I do love Blanton.
All right, I got a.
Matt does not care for it, but I do
God,
love it.
So bad.
I've got letter N. Letter N. We're good here.
Nice.
Oh,
Good stuff.
I'll drop that in there.
So while you're pouring that, I'm still with the tin cup. So good go-to. Good.
God, it's so good.
Accessible.
It's so good.
Matt likes it, and he dips his dog treats in it, so you know it must be good stuff.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, tin cup. I mean, I like tin cup.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's accessible. So
Yeah,
it
I just
works.
finished. I just finished off my regular bottle. The 10-year I finished off maybe a month and a half ago.
That's I think on their website they have some 14-year. I want to go online.
Yes.
As soon as I'm able and get a bottle. And by as soon
So
as
the
I'm able,
cap.
meaning what?
There's everybody out there buy some Underdog dog treats so we can
Right,
get a
that's
new
it.
bottle
So
of whiskey.
everybody go out there, buy a ton of dog treats, and I will buy myself a bottle of whiskey to celebrate.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
I can drink it.
And Matt will drink it.
So the regular that you've got there has the silver cup on the top.
Yeah.
The 10-year has the matte black, and
Mhm.
then the 14-year has the gold
Has
cap.
the gold. Yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So do I.
Man,
We'll start.
I know
making
there are
dog
people
treats.
out there that don't like Blantons. Those people are wrong.
Oh yeah, this guy back here does not like Blanton's.
It
He's
tastes
weird.
like Chernobyl runoff.
He's 100% wrong.
Oh, God, it's awful.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so delicious.
He says Matt says it's awful. He's also the guy literally eating dog treats right now. So
Yeah.
I'm just
They're
I'm
your
just saying.
dog treats.
Well, that's fair enough. Okay, in that case, he has great taste. He has
Great
uh,
taste. Admirable, yeah.
he has great taste. He has a nice shiny coat, and his nose is always wet.
It really is.
Yeah, but you stop him from pissing on the floor when people come over.
I put down newspaper when he comes over. It's fine. We're good.
Mm. That is good stuff. That really is.
Hits the spot. We'll see how long you behave. I know that was your goal for tonight, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah. We'll just, it's on. There's a line in Vegas on it, so we'll see.
Why is he wearing that jacket? He looks like he's got a PhD. Has he got things on his elbows?
He's got the elbow pads. It's fine. It's good stuff.
Do I have? I don't.
No, you didn't have
Oh, I
elbow
do have
pads.
elbow pads.
All right,
Yeah.
then he's
I have a
fine.
jacket.
I've had this jacket for a while. I forgot whether it was a patch jacket or not. But it's not a leather patch, so I might have them redone.
I have a jacket
And,
kind of like
have-
that with leather
have it
patches.
on.
I like it.
Well,
Does
I,
that-
It makes you look
patches on it.
distinguished.
what I don't understand is you went to CCAD for 7 years. Why didn't you get your master's?
They didn't have a master's program. I'm old.
Oh, they don't anymore either. They just canceled it.
Yeah, they're all. CCAD is not a school you want to brag about having gone to.
Yeah, no, not at this point. They're crashing hard.
Yeah, good times. So, you guys ready for some news?
Yeah, let's get into some news. Let's see what's going on in the world. I'm actually excited about tonight's topic. For those of you guys who didn't check the thing, just before we get into news, we're going to give you a preface of what's coming up. I got an article sent to me this week. Not sent to me. It was one of the things that pop up because of all the weird stuff that we read. The algorithm's like, hey, I bet you're going to be interested in this. And they were right. And so I sent it over to Wes and said, Wes, we need to do a show on this. And both of us need to present a business plan to revive Peloton, the
Mhm.
company Peloton, with the bikes and the treadmills and whatnot. So that is what's coming up later. And so don't miss that. So I know you guys, all you viewers out there, the hundreds of millions of people, the hundreds of trillions of people that watch this across the galaxy,
That's a lot.
you guys are just here for the drunken fun. But stick around. This is going to be interesting because, you know, you know what? Let's just get to it later. But I wanted to give you guys the heads up of what's coming because I think tonight's show is going to be freaking awesome.
It's going to be a good one. I think we should send this to the people at Peloton. Be like, hey, guys.
Yes.
Come on.
I tried to see if I could
My
hit
idea
it
was
because they got a new CEO as of January.
Okay.
And I almost was like, hey, we tag him on this thing and say, hey, you need to come in here and watch this.
Right. That'd be awesome.
I'm
Let's.
telling you right now, the superhero episode will get more viewers than the Peloton episode.
What superhero episode?
Okay, so say that I get superpowers, right? But I don't want to be broke like Peter Parker. So I hire West and you to manage the whole doll line, the merchandising, you say it, merchandising. I get you guys on board while I go out and help people or accidentally kill people, depending on how well I handle physics. But you guys are in charge of the marketing and the merchandising.
So I think he's saying, in a hypothetical situation, if he had superpowers, how would we'd
be his agent,
market him as a superhero? And I told him, go watch The Boys and Hancock.
Well, I did.
Because they already did that.
I know, but you guys would come at it from a different approach, like using Hasbro.
Sure.
I think here's our business advice to you. Go get a sports agent.
That's a good one.
Why?
That person's going to be much
because they
positioned than
who's more athletic
just two marketing and sales and business management people.
Honestly,
so
I think you guys
they're going to be focused.
You'd come at it from a different point of view.
You're what we call an adjacent. If it was there, you would be what we consider an adjacent vertical.
Right. Because
so
what you would need,
go talk to your,
what
go
you
talk
would need is more of a PR agent than marketing.
Well, who's going to get me money?
Your PR agent. He's going to book. He's going to book all your interviews and all your press stuff, and he's gonna hire teams of people who can do marketing and social media for you.
What about the action figures? I want an action figure.
You just go online and order one, right?
Well,
you just send them a picture. You can have one made.
Get action figures.
That's not really marketing.
Oh. All right. Well, fine.
That's,
you know what?
It is merchandising. And licensing and
right.
But again, a sports agent is going to be. It's going to be a very short walk for them to pick something up like this.
You know what? You guys are going to be really embarrassed when I'm a famous superhero.
Oh no, we're going to charge you a whole.
At the point,
and we're going to retire.
Money. I want the money.
Well, get ready for small claims court because I literally just sent you a bill for $57,000.
Well, yeah, that's great. You know what? I'm going to lift your house up and drop it in the desert.
I like the warm weather. I do like the warm weather.
All right. Proceed.
Yeah, you see that skin? He loves to be out in the desert.
I was made for southern climates.
Yeah, he's made for sunblock.
No, my ancestors evolved in a place where the sun did not exist.
You're like Dr. Moreau on that island with the hat and the...
I was thinking more of a Morlock, but close enough. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious. That's a Venn diagram that I would like to see. How many of our viewers understood Dr. Moreau and then Morlock? It's just, right there with that Venn overlaps. Those are some pretty cool people.
We are a well-read podcast, is what it is.
All right, let's get to this news. Let's see what's happening in the world today.
All right, so as soon as this will go on, let me know when you see the screen, David. So this one is not really news, but everybody needs to check this out. So this... David, I'm sure you remember the guy commenting on our show a few times, Matt Welch. He's a friend of ours.
The cook over in Pennsylvania,
West Virginia. So he actually has he has a restaurant down there called the Vagabond Kitchen, and he's a really really well known chef in the area. Super great guy, very very talented.
That's him.
I highly recommend everybody go to the site. I'm going to post a link in the comments right now. And vote for him. So this is favorite chef. It says the winner will appear in Taste of Home magazine, and the cook with Carla Hall and take home $25,000. Let's see. I have a unique and fresh approach to heritage cooking techniques indigenous to Appalachia, and
so white trash cooking,
underrepresented cuisine. Well,
that's a much better way to put it. Underrepresented cuisine, where Matt's like, so white trash cooking,
home cooking. So and it's funny. So you actually go to his restaurant, and like he'll have like something like just very run of the mill basic like mac and cheese, and he'll let me get super fancy, super elaborate stuff, or burgers like you've never had in your entire life, grits, all kinds of stuff. His menu's always changing. He's always updating. He's actually a really, really high-end chef. So I highly recommend, if you're in his area, go to the Vagabond Kitchen. But if not, go to the website. I just posted a link in the comments, and vote for Matt.
Where's it at?
He's incredible. Wheeling.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're ever in the Wheeling area.
Down the road from Ogilvy.
That's it. My family goes to Ogilvy every year. We always stop at his restaurant. He actually used to be... roommates with my current wife. So not like that, not like you're thinking. It was purely platonic. But the look on his face would say otherwise. I'm just saying he's actually a really nice guy. I do like the guy. So plus he also has cool tattoos.
He's commented on the show. He's been, I like it when he's
like
chatting.
a beanie cat.
Plus, I'm a born native West Virginian, so
there you go.
Have at it, bro.
So everybody go to the link, vote for Matt. We're good to go.
Let's vote
twice.
Hit some other news here. Oh, that's not it. That's for later in the show. Here we go. This is one you're gonna like, David. Remember we talked about the battle robots taking over the battlefield, and eventually it's gonna be Terminator. It's gonna be Skynet taking over. Well, here's something from the news. France. You wouldn't expect the Terminator to be French, but France overtakes U.S.
So now they're going to teach robots how to surrender?
they just wave. It's like a robotic arm. It's
cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
France overtakes U.S. war tech. Battle robots to hit the front lines by 2027. That's pretty soon. As America lags behind the military AI race.
It's because we don't need AI.
They even have pictures of what these French battle robots are going to look like.
I would laugh my ass off if I saw those coming.
Are they carrying a baguette? Tell me they're carrying a baguette.
They're carrying baguettes.
Oh.
Well, notice they don't have any firearms. This is actually life size. They're about 4 inches tall, and they do raise little white flags. It's very cute.
Do they go?
Le ho ho.
Whoa.
It's gonna
that's it.
On when I'm over there trying to explain this.
That's exactly. So the Terminator is real, and he's French. Go figure.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. We
Oh man, I wish I could do a Schwarzenegger accent, and I wish I could speak French. Just the combination of the two would be priceless.
Absolutely would be hilarious.
I speak French.
Now I've got a new challenge for AI now.
Yeah, there you go. Hey Matt, hop on ChatGPT. Tell her to do some Arnold Schwarzenegger lines in French.
Can it do audio now?
Yeah.
I never tried to have it do audio.
Here's another good one. Scientists can now 3D print tissue directly inside the human body. No surgery needed. That's pretty badass. You got to admit. That's kind of Star Trek.
So could you encapsulate like cancerous tissue with that?
Sure. Why not? I'm not. I don't know.
Are they thinking about that?
That should be in this article. That would be super cool.
That literally is the first thing that comes to my mind. You're like, if you can print 3D tissue directly inside the body, I mean, that's there are some surgeries that takes fine stuff, and if we could just
sure. But what if they could 3D print a new heart? There's a picture of a heart. Right there. 3D print a new heart right inside your chest, or a new kidney. Or,
Yeah, I can see it now. You are out of magenta.
Right. Somebody has to run to the store to get new filament for the 3D printer.
Yeah. Oh.
He's
back there doing it.
He's back there doing it. Let's see if it works.
This is actually quite interesting. So this would go on to say that if they can print it inside the body, that means they can print it outside the body as well.
Well, they've done that. They've been able to do that for a while. So they can.
So like I'm thinking of like meniscus for knees and a rotator cuff for a baseball player, things like that. That we don't have the greatest of solutions for. I'd like to see where this goes. This is something. Send me the link to this, so I like to follow up on this one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that's a funny thing. Cool. So for a lot of surgeries that require replacement tissue, they use like cadaver tissue. We have a niece who's had her knees done, and she got cadaver tendons put into her knees as a teenager, which is kind of weird, but that's a real thing. I was talking to our buddy Kevin Klaus a few days ago, and he was saying that he's spoken to some mortician friends of his, and they say never become a tissue donor. Like none of them are tissue donors, because when you die, they will hack you to nothing, getting every bit of piece out of you they possibly can, and there's basically nothing left for it.
I'm not using it.
And that's kind of what I said. But Kevin was like, I'm a big fat guy, so the first thing they said is they take all my fat and give it to ladies for breast implants and big butts.
Jesus Christ, that's exactly what I want.
And
What
that's
are you talking
that's
about?
what I told him. I was like, Kevin, you just described every man's dying wish. That's if you're
Yeah.
gonna live on, that's how you want to be.
I could squeeze myself.
But if they can 3D print adipose tissue, I don't know what kind of tissue they can 3D print, but apparently they can 3D print it right into your body. That's kind of cool.
Huh. Yeah, I'm curious about how that will function. I got a message here. What's going on?
You know, back in my day, we didn't do such things, which is not a horrible thing. I'm kind of liking this.
We live in a pretty good time.
I mean, really, here.
We live in the time of kind of medical miracles. We live in a time with toilet paper. Think 200 years ago, they didn't have toilet paper.
Yeah, they
I'm
used
just
the
saying.
robot catalog.
They all use the same family rag. It's not a good. We live in a good time right now. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, see, 2020 when we all had when there was a cold going around and everybody stole the TP for some reason. Like, oh my God, I might catch a cold and quick stock up on TP.
Speaking of which, I was out today. I was driving to a meeting, and I literally saw this. I saw a guy in a convertible with the top down, driving by himself with a mask on. In a convertible with a top down.
They've made it easy to identify themselves now.
Oh,
man. You don't ask that guy a question.
You know what? I kind of
even. How do you get home? Like, where do you live? You don't even ask him that because he's not sure. The GPS tells him what to do.
I kind of justified it in that maybe he just wanted to keep bugs out of his teeth. I don't know.
Maybe it's allergies.
He's what?
Maybe allergies.
Maybe allergies. Maybe he has allergies. Maybe he's allergic to testosterone. Maybe something like that. I had to guess.
Yes, it's good. I like that one. His tofu wasn't.
You know, honestly, masks trigger me in a way that makes me not feel much. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I thought that you were going to finish. Okay. I thought there was more coming.
It did sound like there was going to be more. That
we're all just waiting. He just like stroked out for a second. That's how he ends his sentences now. All right. So here's a good one. So if you're not worried about AI taking your job, software engineer lost his $150,000 a year job to AI. He's been rejected from over 800 jobs and forced to DoorDash and live in a trailer to make ends meet. I'm curious. Did he not have a savings account? I mean, he must have.
What's the time frame on this? Was it going from $150,000 to DoorDash? Is this 4 years or is it 6 months? I mean, there's a difference.
AI hasn't been out that long.
Well, right. So I'm guessing
I'm trying to make some excuse for this guy, right?
I'm willing to bet he's holding a Mac, so I'm willing to bet he was a city dweller living in a very high-end condo or apartment and probably had no savings because he anticipated having a $150,000 a year job for the rest of his life. I'm curious, he must have some other skills that AI didn't take. Like, there's a lot of people that still have jobs that don't know how to code, that aren't quite smart enough to code. I'm just trying to make excuses, trying to figure out what's going on here. But anyway.
It seems like more to this story. I don't know. I don't want to read it all on air.
I don't either. We're not going there.
Don't send it to me because I would just email the guy and be like, you're a dumbass.
AI is taking our jobs. That's what it is. All right.
Now, don't get me wrong. AI is taking a lot of jobs. But if you have the type of job that AI is going to take, you should damn well see it coming.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you can't see, if you are tech savvy enough to understand AI and you can't see the writing on the wall if you're in an industry in danger, I'm sorry.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Every animation student at the college I'm going to now should be literally daily crapping themselves, running in circles and finding a different degree.
Oh yeah, every copywriter in the world.
Not necessarily finding a different degree, but there's niches you can have inside of that.
Right.
There's other parts of that process, and when you see yourself, when you see yourself graduating with 30,000 people across the country in a profession that has 5,000 openings a year at most.
Right.
That should have been okay. You should have researched that anyway, and it should have never been on your radar. I mean, you should be like, all right, you're out of the list.
Well, on top of that, we always talk about AI as a tool, right? It's just a tool. So what you need to do is learn how to use that tool in your industry better than anybody else. Because you have the experience in that industry already. Add AI as an extra tool in your toolbox, And guess what? You have a leg up on everybody else. So these other idiots who aren't thinking that way get fired. You still have the job. In fact, you are probably leading a team of those other idiots that happen to be left over.
You know what? One thing I've started doing is having AI generate images, and then going in and with AI's help, identifying why that's AI, so that I can better identify AI images.
Yeah, that's fair.
Really, I find them very easy to identify.
Well,
they're getting better.
Yeah,
you got to admit, some of them are getting pretty darn good.
Like clavicles don't connect properly in AI. Typically, the clavicle connects closer to the deltoid than it should. So it should connect here, connects over here. And that's a really clear sign.
Have you used that free AI platform that'll make literally anything that I think I sent you a link to a long time ago?
I've used a lot of different AI platforms to make a lot of different links.
Yeah, so there's one called...
They're incredible.
Yeah, there's this one that it will make anything that you want.
But the irises, like if you zoom in on the irises, are never going to be...
I've noticed eyes. It has a hard time with eyes and teeth.
And earlobes.
It's getting better with hands. Remember when everybody had 6 or 7 fingers?
Yeah, or the claws.
Yeah.
So it's getting better. It's getting better.
So Northeastern college student demanding her tuition back after catching her professor using ChatGPT.
Right.
I'm 100% for that.
Well, yeah, exactly. So what's happening now is not only students are using ChatGPT, the professors are using ChatGPT instead of reading all the papers and stuff that they traditionally have done themselves. They just load it into an AI bot and give it some parameters on how to grade this paper. And this teacher got caught doing it. I'm curious, though, how the student figured out the teacher was doing it. It doesn't say in the article, but that would be interesting to find out.
I loaded up one image that I had named. So most of my images are named according to their voltage and the resistors that I use. But one particular image, I loved it so much. And the minute I saw it, I thought Titan. I loaded it into AI and asked it what it should be named, and it came back its first choice, Titan.
Maybe you're AI.
I might be. Yes.
Imagine AI that thinks like Matt.
You said you were not. You were Neo.
I'm living in between those worlds. So, yes.
He's transcended.
AI bullets.
He's a truly transcendent being.
Trans. So he's a trans. That's what he's telling us.
So you're trans, Matt.
There you go.
There you go.
Finally nailed it. That's why I'm not successful.
One of many reasons.
Oh, man. All right, what do we got next? I agree with this. I think girls, any place that's using ChatGPT or something like that,
right. No. I'm curious. I don't know. So, and you know that this isn't the only teacher doing it. How many times have you heard teachers complain about all the papers they have to read? I'll bet.
That's a job you took, you dumbass. That'd be like me. Oh my God, I got to do all these designs, all this work. Oh, I got to do all this engineering work. Oh my God.
I have to do the job that I was hired to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The job that I probably went to school to learn how to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to fly all over the world talking about this stuff. Like, what? That's your job, man. That's how you pay the bills. That's what you do. You can bitch about it, but you still got to do it.
You're too pragmatic, David. That's the problem. You got to be grounded more in stupidity, like the rest of us. All right, here's the next one. Here's a good one. So this is interesting. So we always hear about microplastics. Ziploc is facing a class action lawsuit over alleged undisclosed microplastics. So apparently, in case you didn't guess, Ziploc bags release a ton of forever chemicals and microplastics into your foods constantly.
Fiddle faddle.
And so they're going beyond that now. A lot of people are actually talking about something called nanoplastics now.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh,
this is plastic that's actually the particles are so small.
Next up is attoplastics.
The particles are so small they can actually move straight through.
From my mouth to my poop.
Straight through cell walls.
Please.
Straight through cell walls.
For God's sakes! If it's not one thing,
can it damage the mitochondria? The powerhouse of the cell.
All they're trying to do is come up with new words so they can make money. That's how they get you.
Hey, I've already coined the term attoplastics.
Attoplastics.
So they can't have
it's yours.
That's mine now.
So look, I'm not saying there's a direct link from micro and nanoplastics to the lowest fertility rate the human race has ever seen, but it's a thing. I'm just saying the two are happening at the same time. So now Ziploc is facing a huge class action lawsuit. So good luck with that, Ziploc. We'll see how it works out. It's not going to do anything, company. We're still going to use the products because people need them. But it is what it is. Let's see.
I'm just sitting here thinking, what would we do? Put them in glass?
That's actually the healthiest. As long as the glass doesn't have lead, that's a whole different problem. I don't think we can handle much lower IQs in the world today. All right, so here's a good one, David. You know, I'm a huge fan of the double slit experiment.
Oh, it just popped up here.
You know I'm a fan of the double slit experiment.
I am too. Go for it.
Well, I might have to think again about that because the dark photon theory of light would completely upend 100 years of quantum physics. So the dark photon theory. So traditionally, the double slit experiment, the way it works is photons are shot at these two slits in a piece of paper. And what this does is it basically proves that light moves as both particles and waves because you get an interference pattern on the substrate behind this thin piece of paper with the two slits. Well, this new theory, and they've done experiments to try and prove it, and the experiments seem to be working. What are you doing right there? This is what happens when Matt's in the house.
I told a dirty joke, and it's breaking it down into physics. The 16-inch appendage growing out of your forehead with two big hairy in front of your eyes, and it's breaking down the physics.
Okay.
It's
I don't know what's happening.
No one does. Matt's AI is breaking down. I think it's run by Microsoft, and the Skype team is turning off his servers.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
It sounds like it. Okay.
Anyway, double slits.
That's why he's laughing.
That's it. So dark photons, it's a thing apparently. All right, let's move
Dark
on.
photon. So no, explain to me a dark photon. I've been sitting here quietly behaving, trying to wait to hear about dark photons because I understand a photon. What the hell is a dark photon? Is it the lack of photon?
No, so dark photons are apparently.
No, it's not appropriate.
The idea that photons can exist in one of two states, a light photon and a dark photon.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I promise. Keep going.
Okay, so when the double slit experiment takes place, it's not a pattern interference of the light moving as waves. It's actually breaking down the light from the dark photons. So what they're thinking this can be used for is better data fidelity when sending information through packets of photons.
So are you saying the dark spots on this is not the gap caused by the slit, but the breakdown or the isolation between the light and the dark photon?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, now it makes sense.
Right. So they're actually.
So that means to us it no longer moves as a particle. The whole thing moves as a wave.
No,
and
it moves.
down
It all moves as particles, not as waves.
It's not a combination.
It's all particles, no waves.
So it's all just. So it's no longer.
So I'm reading this backwards based on that. What it just now scrolled down, but based on the image up there.
Yeah.
Of how they had it set there.
Yeah. So this is.
Right.
I'm guessing they just had AI make an image of the double slit experiment.
Yeah.
But
ChatGPT. Now that college professor's not using you, he create this random image.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So they're saying it all functions as
it's all
as
particles, no waves,
and not a wave.
Right.
And the gaps that we're seeing is the dark photon imprintation.
Right. Exactly. So what they're saying is this could actually help in data fidelity when sending information via packets of photons. Because you want to discover a way to send the information via the light photons, not the dark photons, since there's no way that humans are able to perceive dark photons.
Dark photons.
Right.
The only way we perceive dark photons is the gap in the light photons.
Right. That's it. That's what they're saying. I think they're full of it, but
the question
they're smarter than me.
Is it predictable?
Right. Well, it's all, can you repeat the experiment? And
when you're
they
dealing with dark photons, it's never predictable. They're always moving in a chaotic wave. And
well, some of them are moving forward through time. Some of them are moving backwards through time.
Oh, don't get me started. It's true. Look, causality. Look,
I had to poke West just a little bit there.
Google retro causality. It's a thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I'm out at the soccer field, right? I'm at the soccer field, and one of the other soccer dads out there made a comment about warps or something like that, and Mike from Goalie Dads is like, don't ask him that. He's got the whole theory broke down, and he's just lecture you on this. I'm like, well, I believe, and I was like, I believe we're going to be quantum tunneling and quantum teleporting before we're going to get to warping. Now, Wes is under the drive world. I'm under the.
Yeah, we're back to everything. All right, so here we go. Yeah. Next piece of.
3 wins.
Grok.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grok is a great AI platform.
I told it, this is what got me laughing so hard. I told it a dirty joke about an appendage, a male phallus on your forehead and not being able to see it because you'd have 2, orbital round things.
You can say balls.
Okay, so if you had a 16-inch dick growing out of your forehead, how much of it could you see? None.
That's not what we said you could say.
And Grok broke it down. I mean, broke it down to the physics, to the angles, to everything.
See? Look.
It was the most hilarious thing I've ever read.
If you want to ask any AI platform about how teabagging yourself would influence your field of vision, Grok would know.
It literally did.
Yeah.
ChatGPT just has a hissy fit when I ask it stuff like this.
See? Grok is great.
Yeah, I told it you win.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Good job.
Next piece of news.
Okay, on to the next news. Because we got to go. We got to move on into our stuff tonight.
MIT physicists snapped the first ever image of atoms, capturing them in their free range states. So,
do you guys read anything about dicks growing out of your forehead, or is it all atoms?
Adam's dick?
Well,
no,
it's not. I will tell you that your topic is not on my to be read list.
No, I've never even considered that, Matt.
The TBR is clean, and the TBR is free and clean of that.
It's true. I've never
of any sort growing out of your head.
I've never considered that at all.
All right, let's talk.
But MIT physicists snapped the first ever images of atoms, capturing them in their free range states. So basically, they have created a camera mechanism that they claim can actually photograph individual atoms that aren't being held in containment, in a magnetic containment field, which is pretty impressive. Got to admit. I don't know.
Is that the images up there?
No, I think this is just more AI garbage. So the image of the atoms isn't actually in here, which is super disappointing. I just thought the science was kind of cool.
Yeah, how do we know, number one, what was their ISO, what was their shutter speed, what was their lens size? I want details.
I don't think they're using a Nikon on this one, bud.
Yeah, they're probably not going to be using...
honestly, if they're going to use, they're probably using a Nikon. I would either a Nikon or a Sony.
I highly doubt it. It's probably something closer to like a modified electron microscope.
Which Nikon makes. When you think quality,
Nikon makes electron microscopes.
I'm just trying to get a job.
When you think quality, think Nikon. Nikon for life's fast moments.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to go to the camera shop and pick up Nikon's latest electron magnet.
You never know. AI's
going to make Elvis Felty's watching. He says we want proof of the atom image.
Yeah, there's no image. There's no proof.
Like yes, if you telling me MIT, that's right next door. I'll be over there in a couple weeks.
Then we go to MIT.
All right, fair enough.
I won't be at MIT, but I'll be in Massachusetts. If you took a damn picture, show us a damn picture. Yeah. Elvis says Polaroid, I'm sure.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
How'd they know where to look?
That's good.
All right, well, okay, let's see. Okay, let's see if any of these are the MIT physicist. Is this the actual photograph here? This looks legit. MIT News. This is from MIT News. If anybody's going to have it, it's this one.
I've literally seen atoms before.
So far, all of this seems... Well, that right there seems the closest, right there.
Well, this is the same image. Let's see. Let's see if we can get to the actual image from mitnews.edu. The image isn't in here. It's not in the article.
Sorry, MIT. You suck. CCAD wins.
This is actually MIT's.edu website.
Oh, what was that?
Well, these are other news articles.
Okay,
At the bottom.
It's not
So
in
did
here.
they submit this? I mean, is it on a like a preprint server somewhere? Is it on a peer-reviewed server that we can access?
Dave said peer review.
Let's see. Appearing in today's Journal Physical Review letters.
Is that what we're supposed to believe is it up top? I don't think that looks like an AI generated image at the top there.
Yeah, that was. All right. So it is actually published in physical review journals. So go to journals.aps.org.
Cool.
But to actually see the images that they published, you need to subscribe, or be in the educational field. They're all locked out. We can't see the whole article or the images.
I'm in the educational field.
You got art school. They might let you in.
I'm checking with ChatGPT or Grok.
So we reveal hold up. We reveal Bose-Einstein condensates. Oh shit, go back. I keep forgetting there's like a 15-second delay.
There is a delay. All right, you're looking at the abstract?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the abstract.
Yeah.
We demonstrate atom resolved detection of itinerary.
Two particles correlation. Exchange hole.
So anyway, the images we don't have.
Right. I mean, well, it just at what they're showing here doesn't sound out of the realm, but I still would love to see the image. If you tell me you snapped a picture, that should be like that's the headline.
Right, and that's the funny thing. So here's the actual image right here. And when we go to the article, it's not in the article. The actual image isn't in MIT News. So I think
they got to get ChatGPT to release the rights.
I think this is the image here of the actual atoms being photographed.
Back in my day when we photographed atoms, we showed it.
That would be the closest one, I would say. Of all the stuff I've seen there, that's the one that looks closest. But I would like an explanation of each one of those one of those strings.
Exactly. All right, here we go. All right, so MIT researchers successfully capture first image of free-range atoms, the tiny building blocks of everything.
Is that image up to the top right, like it's split? Is that the one that says 5? Is it 5 micrometers?
I think so that might be it.
Micrometers.
Yep, that might be it. Let's see. MIT researchers have captured yada yada yada. What does it mean? What does it mean? Double rainbow.
Yeah, this is actually.
That means 2 pots of gold.
What that quirky thing you were showing earlier?
Oh, here it is. This is actually it. Here we go.
That's it. Yep.
Let's see. How do we pull it off? They used laser beams. Freaking sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
That's there.
Create a sort of cloud
with light lattice to freeze their positions.
There you go. So here is an illustration of the light lattice, and here is the actual photograph of the free-range atoms. There you go. That's it.
Honestly, I've seen atoms before. Those are molecules. I think they got it wrong. Maybe they should go to Harvard.
I look at atoms all the time. Everything is made of atoms.
Harvard isn't that terribly far away from MIT.
I know. We used to play them in rugby.
Yeah.
And this is also another image of the atoms, not molecules, you plebe.
Plebe.
They even circled them in case you couldn't see the atoms. So here they are in more detail.
They had to take a special class.
They circled them.
No, that's why you go to art school. You learn how to make circles.
That's it. So they photographed atoms. That's a real thing. It happened. All right. And just
5 micrometers doesn't seem like a very zoomed in to me. I feel like that should be a smaller number. If you're going to zoom in, that you might need. Hey, don't forget to go vote.
Oh, you're on the delay. Yeah. So I was going to say as we're wrapping up the news, don't forget to go to the link in the comments right now and vote for Matt Welch.
Matt Harmon.
Not Matt Harmon. Let's see. Got a comment. Sorry, I have to go back to the comments here.
So he said we got the.
I got to catch up
there.
All right, he said Polaroid for sure. And when I pulled up the actual evidence, he said, boom.
Okay, he called it redeemed.
Dwight from the office says false. And then he says, okay, redeemed. So thank you, Elvis. I'm glad we redeemed ourselves in your eyes.
Did you say thank you?
I did. I just said thank you.
Very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Boy, I bet he did. I bet he did.
He never hears that.
He's never heard that one before.
That's brand new.
ChatGPT will placate me just to shut me up, but Quark is
a lot of us have done that.
Grok is still going.
Oh yeah, I've never been shut down by Grok.
No, I mean, like, they're still telling me why MIT is not a bunch of dope smoking hippies.
Well, fair enough.
I'm not sure I appreciate that.
He's never heard that one before. Okay, on to the topic. Are we ready?
We got it. David's very excited for this topic.
This is a good one. I think it's a great one. This is a really good one. This one's gonna be fun.
All right.
So I did not read yours.
I did not read yours,
and I sent you mine, but you didn't have time to read mine.
So David, did was it the article that you sent me that got you thinking about this topic today?
Well, there was something else I seen that I read some of, and then it refreshed and disappeared time. So I went and hunted another one down and sent it over to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the perfect story of how you go woefully wrong.
Yeah, Peloton was huge. Peloton was massive. So the article you sent me is actually a year old. So I extended my research back an extra year. So I said 4 years instead of 3. But this headline is, if you invested $1,000 in Peloton stock 3 years ago, how much would it be worth today? And the article goes on to say
it's worse now.
$40. It's actually slightly up than it was when this article is written. But it's still, if you invested $1,000, it'd be worth $40.
96.
That's insane.
96%.
It dropped 96% since then. So my objective for this was slightly different from yours. You actually submitted a PowerPoint with pricing recommendations, things like that. Mine was more from a market. See, you come from a sales background. That's why I think you went your direction. Mine was more from a marketing direction.
That's why we work so well together.
Mine was from a marketing direction, where I broke down the points that I think they went wrong on, and then some recommendations on some marketing tactics they can use to build themselves back up to where they should be.
There's literally nothing you can do.
I think they're bloated as well. They have too many full-time employees for what they are. They have buildings in New York City and studios in New York City that they don't need. There's no real tangible value there.
Unless
so
the CEO's going
my business plan assumes that we're going to correct those failings, that we are going to make. Tony Little told me not to invest in. Yeah. I mean, he was right. But if at the end of this show they call us and say, "Hey, we want you guys to fix this," I'm going to tell you to invest in it, because I mean, to be honest, you don't stand to lose much, but you can gain a lot.
Right. So
buy the dip, as it were.
Yeah. Speaking of the dip, you can see their stock value right here.
Oh man,
and that is painful. Oh my gosh.
That is brutal.
I mean, that is. I'm not even sure how they're still alive at this point. That's such a drop.
Do you know why they're bad? Why they're in bad shape? I mean, all this fancy stuff you're talking about. Mm-hmm. They're talking about fitness. Fitness lasts for maybe 1% of the people who invest in it. Like, people are, I'm going to get a Peloton and get in shape. No, you wind up hanging clothes. You want to bring Peloton back? Put hangers on it.
I exercise twice a day.
Yeah, for now. Yeah,
every day.
Wait till you start having
kids. I got them.
No, wait,
just, hemorrhoids.
Hey,
hemorrhoids.
It's only
a boil on my ass that I need my uncle to squeeze out with a milk bottle. Yeah, get that story from him later, David.
No,
I do not.
My point is people don't keep fitness going. Maybe you did, but 1% of people who buy a treadmill actually use it after a year. And Peloton, my God, they're so expensive. And then you got to pay every month to ride with somebody? No. That's going to last for less than a year. Bad business thought.
You're not wrong. I actually have some points really close to that.
You go, bro.
All right. So, Wes, let's launch into yours. Let's see what we got there.
Are we going to do mine first?
Yeah, we want to do yours first.
Alrighty, so I didn't have
your PowerPoint.
I didn't make a PowerPoint. You didn't tell me to make a PowerPoint. You told me to come up with a marketing strategy.
No PowerPoint. I work in corporate America still, so we live and die by PowerPoint.
You told me to come up with a marketing strategy, and I did. So I'm going to run through my research and my marketing strategy.
He's kind of a corporate shill.
He's a business snob. It's fine. Let's see. Elvis says sent a link to Peloton agrees to pay $19 million civil penalty for failure to immediately report treadmills. Treadmill and
they got hit hard.
And distributing recalled treadmills.
They went into treadmills instead of
$19 million lawsuit. That's nuts.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they lost a lot on the. They fixed it with just a small rear guard on the back of the treadmills, and every time I get on my treadmill, because I have a Peloton tread.
Oh.
And I mean, it's top.
It's a great treadmill. It's a really nice.
I'm a fat guy, dude.
It's like you're running on a
guy. Yeah, and I get up on that thing and I can do whatever I want, and I don't have to worry about it falling apart. Even going to the gym and getting on some of those bigger treadmills at the gym, and I've been like, I'm gonna break this damn thing. Not on the Peloton, man.
Your Peloton's solid. It's like running on a Tesla.
Here's the thought: go outside and walk there. Oh my gosh, you've got a big screen. It's called your eyeballs, and you can walk any way you want.
So there was one episode, one of the videos in Peloton where this super hot chick that was basically wearing a thong got in front of you and was running in front of that camera. I watched that, and I got the most exercise in while that video was available than any.
Was that a real Peloton video?
No, it was a real Peloton video.
That's pretty funny.
That's actually a really good idea.
I forget which beach it was on, but I was like, oh, this one. Yes, that one.
That's
so now I'm
funny.
going to Google again and find out if there's any other good shiny objects out there to follow along with.
So your Peloton
one now.
So your Peloton had a big screen. Could you tie in like your Netflix account or your HBO account?
So now they do, and it really wouldn't be hard to. I use the word hack, and it's not really the official term, but you could hack the screen and have it do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, but like the average Joe Schmo, average Joe Schmo just wants it to work. They don't have to hack something.
Yeah. It's built into it now.
Okay.
Netflix. There's a couple. I think Disney Plus is on there.
Yeah.
It's got YouTube TV, but it doesn't have YouTube. I
wish
it
needs
had
YouTube. Why wouldn't it have YouTube?
I know. I'm like, if you went through the trouble of giving a hook and bringing in YouTube TV, why not?
Well, why not
pull
give
it
it
in
normal web access? Give it normal web access so it can go to
hit
YouTube.
Pornhub,
it can go to Pornhub. Look, some people might want to run while they're watching porn. It could be a thing. I'm not judging people as long as you're getting exercise. You know.
All right, keep going with your marketing.
All right, so let's see.
No, you did not stop us from talking about inappropriate topics to get us back on topic. That didn't happen. He's a robot.
I told you he's AI. He's blaming you for being AI. He's doing exactly what he actually
I'm
is.
projecting. I can't say that word.
You can't say that. All right, so speaking of projecting, why Peloton's value crashed. So Peloton fell from a high of $167 in January 2001, so interesting timing there, to, $6.62 in May of 2025. It went from $167 to $6. That's crazy.
So I just picked some up on my Robinhood.
You just bought some Peloton?
I just bought some because just in case somebody's like, hey guys, let's give these people a shot. I'm going to ride that wave up.
Do you know your wife is watching this? She sees how you're spending your money.
On the Peloton that she uses 10 times more than me, yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
What are we going to do to get them back to where they were so far?
Well, so let's break down. Well, first we need to understand why they crashed.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's why we're recapping.
You need to understand what you're fixing before you can fix it.
All right.
Come on, Matt.
Maybe that's what I've done wrong.
That's why you're not financially successful.
That's exactly why.
That's
Look, Matt.
What you don't understand, Matt.
What you don't understand, Matt.
Is that I love to talk down to people.
He's gonna watch our show and he's gonna be like, "Are they making fun of me?"
That's my catchphrase. All right.
We would not.
The post-pandemic slump. So notice their peak was in January 2001. Gym reopenings reduced demand for bikes and Peloton especially, dropping them down from an all-time high. The peak of Peloton's success was COVID. Think about that. People couldn't leave their house. Think about every gym rat in the country who couldn't hit the gym anymore.
I picked things up.
Everybody, I mean, you
down.
literally couldn't leave your house to go for a run. You couldn't. If people saw you out for a run in a neighborhood, they would call the police on you. So what do people do? Unfortunately, most neighborhoods
in Canada,
most neighborhoods have at least one Karen who's like, this person's out and they're not supposed to be out. I'm going to call the cops. Guaranteed, every single neighborhood has at least one of those people. So what do people do? David, you're complaining, but you got to admit, though, what did people do? They bought Pelotons. The numbers don't lie. Yeah, you're complaining, and it sucks, and we like to make fun of those people, but it's a simple fact. They bought Pelotons, and that was the all-time high. So that also makes this question, was an artificial inflation of the price to begin with? If the pandemic never happened, would they have gotten to that peak of $167?
No.
Probably not.
No. We talked a whole lot about what the pandemic or the plandemic did for everybody, and how it pushed certain technologies forward, how it restrained other technologies, and how it changed a lot of dynamics. And this is one of them. This is absolutely the truth. This is one of the things that was highly impacted for good and bad, because when you have a bubble, guess what happens to a bubble?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or gets bigger.
Excuse me.
So they had a couple other blunders as well. So one was a major overstock. So since they hit that all-time high, they decided to ride that wave at the very peak of their success. So they actually way overstocked themselves, building a huge inventory of their products that just couldn't sell after a
group of people that think that every year you add 20%, no matter what, and they don't look at causality of what created that bubble. They don't look at it as a bubble. They look at it as a norm.
Right.
Like, hey, we did this for 18 months. 18 months is not that long of time.
Right.
So for 18 months, we've trended this way, and we're being steady at this point, and not seeing, when the gyms open back up, what's going to happen? Well, we're going to continue to sell exactly what we sold, and all the people are going to continue their subscriptions. It's $44 a month. I know. I have it. I hate it.
Absolutely.
But I pay it.
So they wasted a ton on product they couldn't sell after a certain point. They got to the peak and said, let's ride this wave all the way to the bank. It didn't work out.
Let me just say, there was somebody in that office. There were probably a couple of different people in that office trying to say, this is a bad idea, while every executive above them shit on them, told them to shut up and go back to what they do.
That's it.
It happens every time.
Those people get fired. Those people get fired because you have the senior and executive leadership say things like, "We all need everybody pulling the same direction. If you're not on board, you're off."
That's it. If you're not being a team
wait
player,
a minute, we're trying to stop you from doing something stupid, and you're telling us that we're the ones out of line here.
You're not being a team player, David.
Yeah.
So
I am being a team player. I'm calling you an idiot.
It's so frustrating when you see it coming. You see it coming. You know it's going to happen.
I know.
And nobody will listen.
Yeah. Why do you think Big Lots isn't around anymore?
Because they're idiots.
Because they didn't listen to me. I tried telling them and they wouldn't listen. All right. So there's also the idea of competition. Rising competition from companies like Echelon, Apple Fitness. Now, Apple Fitness didn't have their dedicated machines, but it tied into all of your devices that you wear and have with you all the time. Again, Echelon. The subscription price for Peloton, $44 a month, is a pretty penny for most people. Now, granted, you're paying for live access to trainers. You're paying for videos of ladies' back ends as you're running. I get it.
There.
Now, David, let me ask you about that. As I was saying that out loud, it kind of struck me. Doesn't that seem a little... not even stalkerish, like a little rapey? You're literally running after a woman, watching her back end on a beach.
Appreciate a woman.
Does it seem like you're chasing her?
No, you're appreciating.
I think you're chasing her.
I really appreciate.
I was following.
Like, does she run faster the faster you run? Because that's a little rapey.
Did she look over her shoulder?
Did she look scared?
You don't wear like a weird mask and carry a knife when you're doing it.
Well, that's how, David. That's how I work out. I don't know how you do it.
No. No, it's on a beach. It's on a beach. All kinds of people run.
There you go. So the rising...
There's a section that has a pretty attractive woman there that runs, and her booty bounces in front of you, gives you motivation. It's nice.
And, some people would even say the narrow appeal of being sort of so Peloton had this reputation for being high end. It was expensive for a reason. It wanted that high end clientele. It had a high subscription cost because it wanted that high end clientele. To a degree, they kind of boxed themselves into that. They didn't have enough tiers. They should have the elite tier and others below it. We'll get into that in a minute. But they sort of boxed themselves into a very niche market that when that niche market was able to get out of the house, they did. So they kind of limited themselves on sales opportunities. I know.
I 100% agree. I mean, it's in the, we don't have to assume. I mean, we know at this point that these number of things, they had a child get killed by one of the treadmills.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That was one of the lawsuits.
A kid was killed on a Peloton?
Yeah. Cause if you get behind it, I mean, it pulled you, it'll pull you under. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
So there was a child that was killed on it. Yeah, it was terrible. Then they shut down a lot of stuff there, and then they literally offered to take back every treadmill.
I didn't hear that at all.
Refund the money.
Holy moly, that's crazy.
Like, we will buy your treadmill back at the cost right now.
Wow, that had to hurt.
No questions asked.
Well,
yeah, and a lot of people took them up on it, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Well, apparently they did a good job of covering it up because that didn't come up in my research at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big thing. I mean, we all knew about it. I mean, they were very, I don't want to say they haven't buried it since, but they didn't try to bury it then. It was very out and open. I mean, the president or the CEO email was, talking about this absolute terrible tragedy and, seeing what they can do and how they can help and how they can make it better. They stopped selling the treadmill for a while. I mean, There was a lot.
Yeah, that's crazy. Geez. All right. So I won't go into that, but man, that's bonkers. So what I did is I looked at kind of the problems they had in the past, and I broke down some marketing tactics that we could use to bring them back from the brink. And then we can go into your sales deck and really drive it home. And I think if Peloton took our look, that's what executives say. If you're in a room with top executives,
I get it all the time.
You call it a deck.
You mean you just want me saying this PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint.
Like,
You got to call it a deck, David.
Send me the deck.
The deck.
We just call it a PowerPoint, man.
Your kid,
the PowerPoint. The deck of what? Deck of cards?
You're done.
I agree with you, Matt. I totally agree. But you got to call it a deck, David. If you want to rise in the higher echelons of corporate life, you got to call it a deck.
It is called a deck.
Coming from the guy who just asked Grok to break down the physics of having balls hanging in your eyes.
Yeah. Because you have a wang growing out your forehead.
I don't think Peloton's hiring me.
Peloton's not hiring any of us after that comment. So here is the marketing plan.
No. We're still better. We're still better than the people they have.
So Peloton, I know you're watching. Top executives there. I
did tag him a little bit ago.
Marketing plan to revive your brand.
Listen to the guys who tell you it's a bad idea. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, it's you always need the devil's advocate. I love it when I get to be the devil's advocate because I play that role very well.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Number one.
All right, here we go.
All right. So number one, you need to reframe the narrative. Reframe the narrative. So you need to launch with your ride, your rules, right? A campaign featuring diverse parents, seniors, and rural people, not just high-end, ultra-rich, wealthy people in this apartment they could never afford, in a big city they could never afford. Kind of like Nike's Just Do It. This is what you need. You need to replicate Nike's Just Do It. So I came up with your ride, your rules. If you're talking about the bike. So that's just a quick spitball. But the point is, you need to basically do what Nike did there. You need to reframe to be more inclusive of a more... No, I'm not talking about diverse as far as like ethnicity, that sort of thing. Diverse as far as like parents, seniors, people who can actually use this beyond just that super high-end clientele.
We do tell you to niche down, but we're creating there's still a niche in here.
Right.
And it's fitness.
It's redefining your niche. Yeah, your niche is the fitness crowd. The house mom, the fit house mom is going to react to the same marketing tactics as this other fitness influencer who does these other crazy things. So think about the fitness enthusiast versus specific demographics. You need to redefine what your demographics are. You need to partner with.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. You've brought up Nike twice. Now, while I'm not a fan of Nike,
I love their marketing and branding is next level.
I agree. I'm going to throw this so we've got your stuff and my stuff. I'm going to throw this out as another option.
Okay.
Package your company, shed your weight, and sell to Nike.
I'm sure that's conversations.
Nike
Selling.
don't want them.
The hell Nike doesn't.
I'll bet Nike would take them if they got it for a good price. I'll bet Nike would take them.
Right now, look at the dollars on their charge. I mean, they could go in. They could almost hostile take over this thing for pennies on the dollar.
They could even co-brand with Nike.
We could hostile take over ourselves.
So what they really need to do is they need to partner with micro influencers. We've talked about those a lot. Micro influencers are social influencers with 10,000 or less followers. 10,000 sounds like a lot. It's actually very little when it comes to fitness, especially fitness influencers. And Gymsharks, what they can do with these micro influencers and Gymsharks is it gets a grassroots growth of this brand. Again, reframing the narrative of what the brand is, not just this ultra elite, super sleek product. It's something that gym people like. It's something that fitness influencers and fitness enthusiasts like, not just the person who lives in this ultra luxury apartment that's completely decked out in chrome and white tile. Somebody beyond them are going to be interested in your product.
What about Cletus from the farm?
If Cletus from the farm is a fitness influence, is a fitness enthusiast, sure, why not?
All right then.
Tell me, Cletus isn't a fitness enthusiast.
Well, the one I'm thinking of is.
I'm sorry, you say Cletus. I think Cletus McFarland now, and that's drag racing and whatnot. And I think you could have it in that too.
There you go. So you also
fitness is fitness. It doesn't matter. That's the thing is we're niching down. We're niching down to fitness enthusiasts.
Right.
Which is actually part of my plan. I know you haven't got to read it yet, but it's part of my plan.
Don't let them get on his
right.
He'll never do yours.
Beyond that, they need to have flexible pricing. Flexible pricing. So the very expensive equipment and the very expensive subscription models, they're great. Keep them. Make a range of subscription tiers. Make a range of products, right? So you can still have the ultra elite, super high-end stuff, but at the same time, make something that's slightly more accessible for people who can't quite get there but want there. I know you're not a fan of Apple, but they actually did this with the different levels of the phones, and it works. People who want to send
garbage, they had garbage plus.
All right, we're moving on.
Garbage.
David's in a mood today. All right, so you could offer like a $12.99 a month Peloton Lite plan, right? Something that doesn't get you the personalized training, but guess what? You can still have access to different streaming services. You can have access to sending a trainer messages once a month for tips and techniques, stuff like that. You could partner with gyms for
and James
and James and Jim Bob. But you can partner with different gyms so that they can actually have your product in their in the gyms, so people can use it.
I think Matt wanted to laugh at that more than he felt comfortable.
I don't think there's anything that Matt feels uncomfortable laughing at this point.
I'm trying to let you get through your little presentation.
It's really difficult when you're both here at the same time. The next one is
it's rough.
Gamify.
No, go ahead.
Gamify, and I've talked about this for almost every marketing plan we've come up with. Gamify the engagement. So, actually create different tiers of like levels. You can level up in the game. The more you work out, you can gain different levels. You can get rewards and medals and even points to buy things. You can have, here's a good one. I know nobody in the right mind should ever be on Reddit. Ever. It's a cesspool. But your profile, you can actually gain different rewards and medals that you can apply to your icon the more you interact with the platform. Gamifying the engagement means the more you're on it, the more you work out, the more points you get, the more bling you can put on your avatar. You could even get free things like this. Next month, if you get X number of points, You can get a video of your choice, which may or may not include a lady that you get to chase on the beach.
What about
Those
zombies?
things. What?
What about zombies? You're running from zombies.
That could be a cool
actually
one.
would be great.
That would be a really cool one. There used to be an app. There actually used to be a running app. It tied into your phone's map apps, and you had to keep a certain speed. And if you slowed down, you'd hear in the music the spooky music and the zombie noises would get louder. So you actually had to run faster to make the zombie noises get quieter.
That's funny.
It was a cool app. I gotta see if I can find that again. But gamification is huge, and with athletics, I mean, it's built
Do
into
you
the
suffer
experience.
from anxiety nowadays? Because that seems like it would trigger anxiety.
I think it sounds like a great idea, but I don't know. I'm a different type, I guess.
Yeah.
So you could expand beyond just bikes and treadmills, right? You could have something like a $500 Peloton mini strength yoga mirror thingy. Have you seen those mirrors that have like the exercise equipment built on?
Yeah,
do things
so
like
I
that.
almost bought one before they sold out to whichever company ended up buying it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were reasonably priced at that time. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll get one next week. And then between that week and the next, they sold to whatever company it was, and they tripled in price.
Right. Yeah.
At which point I said, never mind.
Right.
Tonal or something like that. Tonal, I think is what's called now.
It's a cool idea, though.
Maybe
Yeah,
they should
it's good.
start building.
So it was built out of the creating a bathroom mirror
Mhm.
and using a Raspberry Pi and some displays, so you could have like weather updates and stuff like that as you're brushing your teeth and everything, and getting ready in the morning. You can just see a synopsis of your day,
Mhm.
your calendar,
Well, that's
and
smart.
you
I like
have
that.
you
Right.
have weather and traffic and all the stuff
And it
you
was built
want.
into the mirror.
You can tell it what you want to do. It's built into the mirror. And it was wonderful. And they took that technology and I watched it grow from
Yeah.
that to the exercise thing. And I was like, yes, okay, this is cool. I can get behind this. And then I was like, all right, I'll buy one next week. And then they freaking got bought and tripled in price. I mean,
Right.
it didn't add a single bit of functionality. It tripled in price.
Right, exactly. So there's a number of different things they could do. One that I think would be a great idea, it could be a Peloton Passport, right? Like an app that was on your phone. It monitored all your health stuff on your phone. It tied into your watch's health features. It could give you daily updates on a subscription model. It could give you daily updates on diet. You can keep track of everything you're eating,
Oh, I
the
hate
calories, all that kind of stuff. And it would all be tied into your home equipment. It could be tied into all your different devices. It could all be tracking your health at the same time with this Passport. That's an easy go-to. I mean, there are a dozen other companies doing very similar things, but they don't have the benefit of having the Peloton brand with this larger equipment at home.
Yeah.
Peloton, if
Nike,
they did something like this, they would actually
Nike, make a move.
Right, Peloton, if they did this, they'd actually have a leg up on other companies who are doing something very similar right
If
now.
I die,
Yeah.
I don't want Peloton knowing.
I mean, I want somebody knowing.
I want somebody to be surprised when they find me.
I've often thought that too. You know what? I always thought it'd be cool if I just disappeared one day, nobody ever saw me. It's just like, whatever happened to West? I don't know.
He's just gone.
He's just gone.
Oh, and then we find you at a cattle ranch. You're a cowboy.
No,
You find my bones
so
underneath
when either
the-
one of you guys die, I'm paying a absolutely flaming homosexual to come to your funerals and cry excessively.
That's pretty funny.
No,
I
but
mean,
what bad
just
an eye am I?
crazy flaming, and talking about how much you meant to them and how much they love you and how much they're going to miss you, and then they're going to get in their car and leave.
Well, that would fit right into my funeral. You know what I want to have done? You know this. I want to have the Benny Hill theme song playing. I need at least 4 ladies in lingerie being chased by a guy in a gorilla suit.
Yep, Kevin Klaus is on with the gorilla suit. We got that.
I've told my current wife that I want to be taxidermied, not cremated.
I'm going to be waving.
It'll be good. Yeah, the animatronics. That's a good one. I like that. And in the casket, we're gonna have a buffet in the casket. That'll be cool.
Actually, Peloton should do that.
Caskets or
Yeah.
buffets?
Yeah, well, like the whole thing. Like have sushi in caskets with treadmills.
All right. So they also need to.
This is why I say things that are outside the box need to stay the hell outside the box.
Yeah, he's got a point.
So you're saying Matt needs to get back in his box?
I'm saying if it's outside the box, it's outside the box for a reason. And if you're like, oh, I thought outside the box, no, you didn't. It belonged in the box.
Fair enough.
You didn't think outside the box. You utilized the things that were in the box. You just didn't think about it yet.
Right. So that's
But
the
if
thing.
there's something that's truly outside the box, it's there for a reason. Don't do it.
So that's the funny thing. All the stuff I'm listing here is not outside of the box stuff. This is all very accessible stuff.
Yeah. This is all. Yeah. Yours is shaping up very nicely. I like it.
Yeah, it's not,
Right.
I mean, the company's still going to crash,
So-
but it's as good as it can be.
But at this point, one of the biggest things they can do is rebuild trust. Rebuild trust they need to rebuild the brand. So this kind of ties back to the first point about reframing the narrative. Rebuilding the brand and rebuilding trust is huge. So they could do a weekly or monthly Peloton Listens town hall, right? Where they go on Facebook or whatever platform
Oh, that's
with the executives, developers, maybe some trainers, and listen to the users and say, hey, what would you guys like the most? What features do you use the most? What features do you hate? What features, if we change them, what would you change about them? Now, here's one thing to remember. Never, ever take your users' comments at face value because most of them are complete idiots. But take their feedback. One, that's actually going to help build that trust. They're going to at least feel like they're being listened to. But every once in a while, you might get a gem out of it.
Yeah, but you got to be really careful about mining that gem because you're right. People are
People complete idiots.
Giving you
You might end up with a
right.
shrimp buffet in a casket.
You might end up with a dick growing out of your forehead.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Or hangers on your treadmill, which still is a good idea.
Actually, that'd be a good April Fool's Day.
Actually, that
product.
one's not. I didn't say anything about that one because that's actually there's some possibilities there that we don't want to overlook.
Right. But they could also do something like Peloton. So YouTube has the YouTube partners. What if there were like a Peloton partner program where users of the Peloton program could actually have their own Peloton channel, kind of like YouTube has, where they could be a trainer, right?
Dude, okay, so now, okay, hey Peloton,
Where they could
you need to listen.
Yeah, where they could be a trainer, and the more followers they get as a trainer, they get a cut of their subscription fees.
So so now you're a genius because now you're basically going to put an AdSense type value on these individual trainers. They can build up their followings and so on and so forth. So
User-generated
you're not
content.
paying. So this is part of that thing I said with the restructuring is you've got tons of overhead with the type of company you are, the 20 some hundred or whatever it was employees that you have. That's too much. You need to switch some of those off to contractors. And if you did this, now you're down to some back end architects or engineers for your data, your data center, and you're going to be cloud sourcing most of it. So you're going to let somebody else handle it. It's going to be a contract. That's not going to be in-house service. You might have one or two people that kind of manage the overall thing of it. Then you've got your executives and you got a couple salespeople and things of that in there. You could drop to maybe 100 to 150 people in your actual core company. And now the only time you're paying money is when there's revenue generated. So from a restructuring standpoint, I didn't even think of that. That's freaking genius.
Yeah, users would generate most of your
your content
there. So
yeah,
so that's one. Another one.
A great move.
Go hyper local.
Dude, that is a great. I am impressed with that. Right, I'm very
impressed.
Hopefully, it shows. That is a really, really good idea.
Yeah. And
all hell west. We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
It would really work. I think those trainers would actually get more views than the trainers that they currently have.
Yeah, you're gonna have a couple of winners, and if you had a couple of ringers that were on there that gave you a core offering, and then you let your users create their own channels inside of it, and you have, it doesn't matter if they create it and nobody watches. It's nothing. It's just the same as data on YouTube.
There could even be channels. There could even be channels for female of female influencers. Trainers running on the beach with the guy holding the camera behind them. It looks like you're chasing them on the beach, like you were saying, David. People would subscribe to that.
Hey, there's a market there.
People would subscribe to that.
There's a vertical.
There could be,
touched there.
and you could have, if you had it like a YouTube type thing where you could subscribe to the different trainers, there could be something like a zombie themed trainer. There could be something like the hot lady influencers where they're just walking and you're following them on the beach. There could be any number of things, and people would, because they like the personalities, just like normal social media influencers, people would follow them.
That's oh man, that is probably, in all the stuff that we're going over, including the rest of yours and all of mine, I think that might be the best individual bullet point in the whole damn thing.
Hey, Peloton, call me.
Yeah,
right.
That is freaking cheap. That is amazing.
Well, I
Good
have
job,
an idea
West.
that would beat all of yours.
Good job, West.
What's your idea?
All right, so I'm going to tell you my idea, then I got to go because I'm falling asleep. All right, you take off the screens, you cheapen your product, you ride that name out until it's dead, and then shut it down.
That's kind of what they're doing now.
So you're getting bought by what Indian company?
Doesn't matter.
Nike's not Indian.
You're done. The fitness craze is over. Let's move on. But I appreciate all of your ideas. They're amazing, especially that YouTube thing.
I like YouTube.
Peloton, just stop. You were pretentious from the get-go. You killed a kid. You got no future.
Ouch. Yeah, Peloton's not hiring Matt. They might hire us, David.
Actually, I think I have the strongest chance because the CEO there apparently is an idiot.
They just got a new CEO that just took over in January, so we'll see.
Let's see.
We want that man.
That guy's a genius. I like the cut of his jib. He called me an idiot. He's not a broker. I like it.
Remember, though, before I go, Underdog Journey. Or
Underdog Plus.
Underdog Plus dog treats are not just good for your dog. They're also good for your dog. And
apparently dipped in whiskey.
And really good dipped in whiskey. Now, Wes can't say it, but these make a tasty treat for a bridge club.
So would you say that is a diabetics cookie?
It's you know what, a diabetic, they are diabetes safe. There's almost no sugar in them.
Yeah. And your dog's teeth will not rot when they eat these.
The only sugar comes from the all natural, locally grown apples that we add to those.
Yeah. These are not apples.
Did he take the apple crunch?
You got the you got the apple bacon.
Crunch, yeah.
You got the apple crunch. Okay.
Yeah. Apple crunch. Okay, so I did the test, and my dogs prefer the apple crunch over the apple bacon.
That's surprising. Okay.
My dog shits himself whenever I bring these out. He gets so excited.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So either way.
That's all my dog eats. You've seen how she is.
It's like pumpkin spice. Okay. Apple crunch. Okay. See you later. I'll be careful not to wake up your kids.
Do not wake up my family. All right.
Do not wake
See you later, man.
Do not wake up the family.
No, don't do it. All right. 1, 2,
Freddy's coming for you.
Those were good movies. Those are great movies.
Those are great.
It's a shame about the remake.
Yes. I mean, I miss the good old classic horror movies.
Right.
I mean, the new stuff is just atrocious. Just a good old fashioned cut 'em up, scary as hell movie is great.
Exactly.
Now it's all about the jump scare. Like, oh, great, you startled me. You built up tension, and then you made a loud noise and a lot of movement on the screen, and we jumped. Okay. No. I want to be have the lights on and doze off after the movie at home because I'm terrified to actually fall asleep. That's what I want.
See,
back to
those are the good old days. The good old days. And the last one that I have is go hyper local. I'm a huge fan. So I mentioned earlier with the grassroots development. This plays right along with that. Go super local. One thing you could do with going super local is have Peloton hubs in the few places where shopping malls still exist or shopping centers. Have a rep out there with a treadmill and a bike, and have a little contest. Guess what? If you can do X speed for Y amount of time, we're going to give you a T-shirt or a button or something. Or guess what? If you use hashtag,
Peloton does that ish.
Yeah. Or if you use hashtag Peloton Hubs, we'll give you whatever, something like that. But going super local, they could even do things like sponsoring local 5Ks, right? Powered by Peloton. It writes itself.
Up and I put them down.
Yeah, the 501k powered by Peloton, things like that.
501k
Easy.
powered by Peloton.
Not 501k.
Retirement on
5K.
your schedule.
if you're running 501 kilometers, you're a great runner. It's 5k, not 501k. But they sponsor 5ks. You know, that's easy. Sponsor local bike races powered by Peloton. It's easy. The fact they're not doing that is mind-blowing to me. In fact, in Columbus, Ohio, we have a local annual bike race called Pelotonia. Hey, Peloton, talk to Pelotonia. They raise a crap ton of money for cancer research every single year.
Yeah, we have a friend who rides in it every year.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I actually plan, hopefully next year the funds are where they're supposed to be. I want to be a sponsor of a Pelotonia team. So, but go local. Go super local.
Yeah.
But go hyper local. You're going to win every time. The grassroots, you need to rebuild your brand equity from where it was back in 2021. You can do it. You just got to play it smart.
Yeah, you've damaged your brand equity. There's no doubt about that. But there's also no reason to think that you can't recover from it. There's enough of that brand and enough value in the brand itself to salvage. There's enough there to work with, but you have to, whoever your leadership is and your directors are and your people, your probably 17 levels of senior VP management that need to be deleted and erased. All those people need to go away. All of them. There's not one worth keeping. Not one. I don't care who they are. All of them. Get rid of all of them.
Right. That's it.
You need to simplify. You need to simplify. And what you're going to be doing, even by my plan, it's not complicated. And you don't need a powerhouse staff. You don't need a staff of 50,000 people to do this. I would say that I could take 100 people within the core operations of Peloton. Now, there's going to be contracts outside of Peloton to handle certain things. And we're going to have a core. I love that because I'm stealing that right away. The core presenters, but I'm going to rely on my viewers and my other enthusiasts to create the bulk of the content.
Right. That's it.
I'm going to have my core creators, maybe 10, maybe 15 of them, but the vast majority of them are going to reside in the user-created content world.
Right, that's it. So
that's
an easy.
I got to tell you, that's floored me, dude. That's floored me how genius and simple that is, and more importantly, that I didn't think about it at all.
That's how I roll, David. I don't know if you're aware of that. That's I'm kind of a genius. I tell everybody that.
I agree. Yeah, I tell everybody too.
It's I got a tattoo that says I'm a genius. All right, so we ready to roll into your PowerPoint presentation? I won't say deck. Your PowerPoint
Grab my deck and
presentation.
put it on the screen.
Your deck has no business being anywhere online. All right.
All right.
Oh, you got graphics in there and everything, looking good.
Oh, dude, no. Come on, man. I live in corporate America, right? So Peloton, for every body, for every goal, for every budget.
That's it. Nice. I like it. So we're kind of on the same page with a couple things here. So everybody. So it's not just for a smaller niche. You extended that a little bit. Every goal and every budget. So you're into the changing of the tiers of the pricing as well. So let's break it down. Got Peloton on the slide there. Here we go. Time to strengthen. Do you want to run through this? I'll let you do it.
Well, I can't. I've got to wait for the delay to catch up.
All right, I'm going to try and get my picture out of the way here.
So, for some reason, it's missing the. It didn't carry the slide over for that. So let me read. Go back to the slide above it.
The slide above that just says has the Peloton logo. It doesn't have any content.
I know that, but there's actually wording that's on that didn't show. For some reason, didn't show up on your version. So.
Here it is. It's white text. Hang on.
Oh, okay. You got it.
I got some of it.
Wait for you to get it all there.
Hang on. I'm just going to change the color. There we go. Is this all of it or is there more?
Yeah, that should be. Yeah, that's it right there.
There you go.
So this was supposed to be a black. The whole thing was supposed to be black, and it had white lettering on it.
Got it.
I have no idea why the formatting didn't cover it. I think that's the only formatting issue that didn't translate between my Excel and your Google whatever.
Your PowerPoint and Google Slides.
Slides, yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. We're relaunching a full-scale revival to bring a healthy lifestyle to everyone, everywhere.
Nice.
So we've already illustrated, we've talked ad nauseum about the dramatic rise and how Peloton arrived on the scene making waves. And conversely, how quickly it all fell apart for them. So we have a new strategy that's focused on 3 core pillars. These are our revenue streams. These are our revenue buckets that are talking about the subscriptions. Subscriptions are number 1.
Right.
Why are subscriptions number 1, West?
Well, because it's recurring revenue, whether the person uses the product
RMR.
or not.
That's RMR. That's the valuation of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how many treadmills I sold if I don't have RMR to go along with that.
That's it. So you're building lifetime value into the customer, not just a one-time sale.
Exactly. Then we're going to have equipment, and then we're going to have apparel.
Apparel's smart. I didn't think about that.
Through the apparel, we are tying in community events. Next slide, please.
So, well, let's sit on the apparel for a minute. So the apparel can be huge. Nike makes a ton of money off just apparel, not shoes, but apparel. So I'm not even counting shoes, though. I'm talking about T-shirts, workout clothes.
Exactly.
There are brands like Lululemon.
Athleisure.
Yeah, Lululemon is
yeah.
massive. Lululemon. All right, we're not going there. All right, next slide.
No, you don't like the Lululemon, huh?
Okay.
So
I'm not
next
going there.
slide. I know you've already clicked the button, but I got to wait for it to show up over
there
here.
You go. Time to strengthen our
please.
core. I like it.
So I'm playing on we're playing on the fitness idea.
Uh-huh.
And this is the new engine in Peloton. We have the Peloton Go subscription. Peloton Go. First of all, I want to notice everyone here that there's no one thing that says Peloton Plus. That's very important. We can't have streaming services that say Plus anymore. That's played out. So we have our Peloton Go.
Okay.
That's your beginning. That's your budget. That's that's focusing on people that have minimum workout equipment. This is the outdoors. This is the group. Then we have our Peloton Flex. These are the do-it-yourself home gym users. That have a treadmill, that have a bike or a rower, but it's not Peloton.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Peloton One,
mm-hmm.
because it's one Peloton. Because now we're going to be bringing that ecosphere of Peloton into one platform, and we're going to be able to touch on your Peloton tread, your Peloton bike, and your Peloton rower.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the future, which we'll be talking about in the roadmap later on, we have more integrated Peloton goodies coming your way. And then we have Train with Peloton. This is goal-driven athletes. These are people that are training for marathons, training for strength and weightlifting. These are people that are training for swimming. This is all of those type of events. These are professional, put together programs that take a person from the level they are now to the level they want to be in their sport.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. So you're going with the tiered approach that I'd mentioned in my...
Yes.
So it's funny that we're kind of on the same page on a lot of stuff.
When you were talking about it, I was like, holy shit. We really came up with a lot of the same stuff on this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I to be honest, I really figured we would come up with a lot of similarities. All right, go on to the next one. So that's the subscription. That is what the core of Peloton is going to be.
Yeah, that recurring revenue, that lifetime value of the customer.
Yeah. So we're going to have some cannibalism because we do have a $44 subscription right now. We're going to have some cannibalism of that. But what we pick up on the Peloton Go, the Peloton Flex, is going to vastly exceed.
Oh, yeah.
And from a projection standpoint, it's almost impossible. We would have to launch it and give us 6 months with it. But, at initial launch, we should be able to see a 100 to 150% growth on our total revenue stream through our streaming product.
Oh, absolutely.
By breaking this down and let people choosing what they want to do.
Right. So I'm going to play sort of devil's advocate, then answer my own complaint. So high-end executives, and you know this as well as I do, certain executives will complain that right now, since their subscription model is the $44, right, very high, their complaint will be, not everybody wants to pay that $44. You're going to have a lot of people paying a lot less because they don't want to pay the $44. That means if they're paying $10, how are they ever going to make up for that $44, that $33 that we're not getting? Or, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I get
it. The answer to that then is, some people will attrite down to a lower level, but you're going to have a lot more people. You're going to have a lot more people at that lower level to more than make up for the people who moved down a couple of levels, right? See, with the lower price tiers, you're actually going to have more people come in that never would have in the first place. And guess what?
You're not offering anything to anybody else.
Right. And guess what? The entry level is just that. It's entry level. The idea is to get people loyal enough and happy enough with your service that they want to climb the ladder and get the higher end service.
Yes. They want the goal, the sweet spot here is Peloton One. That is the goal that we're going to try to promote and graduate people from the Peloton Go subscription. We want them to get to Peloton One.
Right.
The Train with Peloton group is for the people that are, these are people that are serious. These are athletes. These are people that are training with purpose.
Yeah.
And
people at the lower tiers, they want to reach that level. That's probably their goal. They want to get up to that level.
Yeah. And so let's look at percentage wise. We should be able to pull anywhere from 25 to 45% of Peloton Go over the course of an X amount of time. And we'll be able to figure that metric out once it gets going to Peloton One. But that's the subscription. And then we're going to be backfilling our Peloton Go subscriptions with new subscribers.
That's it.
So are we going to have some cannibalization of business? Absolutely. But we're going to start graduating them back through the process and adding and backfilling into this. So our revenue stream is going to be bolder and more stable. And then after some time, more projectable.
That's it.
With less volatility, which is what the market and investors want.
There you go. That's it. All right, so next slide.
We're waiting on the Facebook feed to come back.
There you go.
Okay, we're back now. Okay, so let's go to the next one because that was our core. So we're going to move on to the next stage, which is the equipment, and I've broken it up into equipment. So there are two main lines. We have our core. That's our simplified systems. These are available. If you looked at the bottom bullet point, there is available through Walmart, Target, Dick's Sporting Goods, channels of that nature. The difference is these are flat box shipping, meaning that they're in a flat box that's convenience for delivery to the store, stocking on the store shelves, and putting in your pickup truck when you need to get it home.
Yep.
Right? So these are a lower cost product that have, the core ride that's your bike, that's $9.99. The stride, that's our Peloton treadmill, that's at $11.99. And the Peloton Move, that's the rower at $7.99. They're built to be moved via the retail channel. They have 10-inch navigation displays on them so that we can move through the options. It's 10-inch screen. It's not an infotainment center like we have on the larger units. I think mine is like almost a 30 or 32-inch screen that's on my Peloton treadmill. I mean, it's a freaking massive screen. So there we have it. So that's over here to the left. That's our core line. That's a retail only line. You don't purchase those online. You need to go to the store to get that. Now we're going to be moving over to our elite line. That is our DTC studios. That's our better content. That's the ultimate connected fitness experience. This is the one that pairs with our Peloton One subscription with the Peloton bike and core prices here, the Peloton treadmill, and the Peloton Row. Then we have the larger screens built in and basically what Peloton is right now. Then we're going to look at our roadmap forward. And we are going to look, and this is in backwards order here. So I'm going to take the bottom section first, the Peloton Smart Weights. These are weights that have the selectable weights that in the, basically the handle of it is going to have intelligence built in. So it's going to know what weight you're lifting, and it's going to talk about your form, your factor, where it's moving, basically the gyroscope inside, to basically like what your PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 controller has built in, to know what you're doing, what you're lifting. That's going to track your reps. That's going to track your tempo. That's going to track your sets. And all of that can go with any of the subscriptions, but it's going to be built for the Peloton One. And then we're going to have coming out at phase 4 is going to be the Peloton Smart Tower. This is your fitness tower, and it is going to be jam-packed with analytics. It's going to be jam-packed with features, and it's going to give you a full tilt weight and muscle building powerhouse, and all the tracking and all of the information that you need, plus coaching, again, tied in with the Peloton One subscription. So from an offering standpoint, we're expanding our offerings in 2 different directions. We have that middle line is what Peloton is today. We're going to move to our left-hand column, and that's going to pick up our medium portfolios. That's going to be our entry level into Peloton One. And then anything outside of that, we're not worried about. We're going to pick those guys up in our Peloton Go subscription and our Peloton Flex subscription. To people with the free weights, we got Peloton Flex. We got the people that want to do just yoga and things like that outside, and some basically body weight training. That's Peloton Go. So we're able to capture from the entry level person to the most elite muscle bound trainer out there inside of the Peloton ecosphere.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. The broadened spectrum of equipment really makes sense, especially if you're thinking about, you want to get, you're going to have some people who just choose one of these items and that's it. You're going to have some people who fill a home gym. What you can also do is you can actually license these to actual gyms. And beyond that, Peloton could do something like hosting classes, weight classes, spin classes, running classes, where either live trainer in the studio at the gym, or even what they do right now, a hosted trainer on the screens can run the spin class at a gym at a specific time. And all this is hosted at the gym. The gym actually owns the equipment or leases the equipment from Peloton. At the same time, people get to use the equipment, and since they can have a membership to the gym and to Peloton, but they can also get an incentive to possibly buy a piece of equipment themselves for their home gym and still be a part of the same program. Like, there's so many different ways you could play this.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of value in this. Again, that's why we picked Peloton for this, was because there is so much value still left in this brand.
Well, there's so much opportunity to grow. If they don't grow with the brand equity they have and the potential they have,
it's on them.
It has to be on purpose. It almost has to be deliberate.
Yeah, it's absolutely on them.
Yeah.
There's no reason that this company needs to fail. This company can succeed. The only reason I would accept them going away is if they sold to somebody like Nike. That's it. Now, here's another piece of advice for Peloton. Keep your mouth shut in politics. That damages you more than almost anything. All right, next up is the big one. This actually might be slightly inverted. We may actually pull a slight bit more from this section than we do the actual equipment.
I like this. Where your why? Did you write that, David?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. I like the where your why. That's smart.
I'm just waiting on it to come up here. Here it is. Peloton U, where your why.
That's smart. I like that a lot.
So
that's good.
This is a mid to premium apparel line. So we're not looking at a value brand, first and foremost. We're looking at a mid-level and to premium brand.
Right.
And it's going to cover a base. That's your t-shirts, your joggers, your tank tops. And then we have Peloton U Move, which is going to fall under your performance gear. That's your weightlifting gear, your running recovery, your exercise, your yoga pants, and all of those things. We have our own brand. We're going to break from the Lululemon partnership. We're getting rid of all of that. We're going to do it ourselves. We can do it. We can do it better. And then we have our lifestyle, which is going to be a huge, huge market. I love this. Athleisure, urban athleisure.
That's massive.
It's big money.
I mean,
Lululemon, that's all that it is.
Right.
That's all that it is. It's a whole store. That's a whole store. And then there's probably 15 different other stores at my local mall that is the same thing. It's all athleisure.
Right. If you are a health and fitness brand and you're not in the athleisure business to some degree, you're just not even trying.
You're missing out. So this is the Peloton U. This is the gear, the fitness gear and everything. And one of the things that I want to point out that's not shown on any of this is that inside of the shirt is every one of them is going to have a phrase that the public doesn't get to see, that it's just for you.
That's smart.
And it's going to range from any number of things. But there's going to be a inspirational or something that's just dedicated to you, and that's going to be that's the wear your why.
Yeah, kind of like the print on the inside labels that people have on the side of the shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's very smart.
We see the stuff in here. We see the U and the wear your why there, and then we're going to take the Peloton U and go on to the next slide there. We're going to take the Peloton U and we're going to push that forward to the community events. Which you brought up in yours, but I wanted to tag it along with the athleisure and the apparel because this gives us a channel. This gives us a channel for the apparel. This gives us a way to connect with the community. This moves us along to kind of encapsulating, and now we can actually meet your locals. So our local key user created content or user content creators can be part of these public events, because I'm stealing that from you right now. I'm told you that.
There you go.
That now that person can lead these, let's say you have a Peloton U subscriber that has 10 million followers,
right?
And they're running their yoga, and now they're going to run a sunrise yoga in Central Park.
Oh, yeah. And guess what? They could stream the entire thing on their channel. People could do it on their screens, and they could have a live audience at the same time doing it along with them. It could be huge. I mean, the influencer community was built for something like this.
Yes. And we have You in Motion. We have our 5Ks. Train with You. That's our local lifting competitions. Cycle and Flow. That's our group rides. And I can't see because my box is covering the last one there. So Sunrise, it looks like Sunrise U, guided meditation, I think.
Sunrise U,
yeah. The transcription box keeps covering that section.
Oh, funny. Yeah, guided sunrise meditations and wellness morning. Yeah. I'm not a morning person, but I will watch them on replay later. Yeah. On-site gear, QR trials, instructor-led and live-streamed local partners. It's funny. You and I are on the same page on a lot of this stuff, David.
Yeah, it's true. So, okay, just for those of you,
we did not cross-collaborate at all.
At all. I sent this to him, said, hey, we want to present 2 business models. Let's go. That was the end of it.
Yeah, that was it.
We didn't talk again till the day.
Well, that's why you sent a deck, and I just had a marketing plan.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no collaboration whatsoever. But the similarities between the two are, I mean, there's a lot there. And if you start merging these two, I mean, Peloton, you're missing out. If you don't reach out to one of us after this to say, hey, come and clean house, doge us up, let's do it. You're missing
imagine out. Peloton, yes, you should politics aside, hire David and I to come in and just clean house, incorporate this. This will 100% work.
Yeah. This is a part-time job for me. 6 months, I'll give you contract rates. But yeah,
no, Peloton, make him an offer you can't refuse. Bring us in, and he'll even do his best. We're gonna make it happen. So
We'll do it there.
Next slide.
So next slide's up, and I've got to wait for it to come up because I vaguely remember what was on this, but we're talking about, I believe this talks about some key metrics and things like that, some KPIs and whatnot.
The path to fitness begins with one step.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, now it's up. The path to fitness begins with one step. The same is true with business.
It's true.
And we've talked about this so much, so much that, when was the best time to plant a tree?
30 years ago.
When's the second best time?
Right now. That's it.
Right now. So that's it. So, you have to take that first step. You have to do it. So Peloton, realizing that you have an issue, I think that's pretty plain and clear. You have an issue.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're at 94% of your value from 4 years ago. But what's your KPIs? Your subscriptions? We're gonna look at your churn rate. How much is the turnover there? How many people are canceling? How many people are coming in?
Right.
You want your long-term valuation and your conversion rate from one subscription to another. How are we upgrading people through? Our equipment sales, that's our sell-throughs. What are we pulling through our subscriptions? How many subscriptions are we pulling through the equipment sales? So we have bi-directional pull-through sales that we need to track. That's our attach rate. And then we need our core versus premium ratio. Which one of these is making a better sell? That'll let us know where we need to make our investments.
Right. And as I mentioned, they need to be
next for, or who we need to do refinements for. Go ahead.
And as I mentioned, beyond the sale rates, selling to customers, they need to be leasing these to every gym in the country. Lease these to every single gym in the country. There's no reason why every gym shouldn't have a few of your machines in it.
Yeah. And there's no reason that you can't package your training presentations and say, hey, these are the video presentations that are going to be available for you at a corporate rate. And then, hey, I want your studio in return. I want XYZ square foot studio that we're going to pack, 1 weekend a month, a Friday or a Saturday, Sunday of every month. We're going to take the largest space you have, and we're going to pack it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to film it, and we're going to do the stuff. And so there's no reason for you not to do that.
Right. So that's the equipment. So apparel.
Yeah, your UPT. Okay, so now we're in your apparel. That's your units per transaction. That's like saying, hey, somebody goes on and they buy a shirt. Okay, that's good. We want somebody to buy a shirt, but what we want them to buy is 3 shirts, a couple pairs of pants, a hoodie, some gloves, maybe a hat, some sunglasses. What can we get people that? How many units can we push? It's not a revenue. It's not a margin. It's not a wall-to-wall margin issue. It's a how many units can we get? That is, what are we creating? Are we creating satisfied customers?
Right.
No, we're creating raving fans.
And that's it. So, David, you mentioned something earlier with the apparel, how you think the apparel needs to be not inexpensive. It needs to be very high-end, very almost exclusive. And
it's mid. It's mid. It's mid-level up.
So you're actually 100% right, though. And I know you're the first to say, of course I'm right. If I weren't right, I wouldn't say it at all. Something along those lines.
I'll say, of course I was right. If I was wrong, don't you? I'm a pretty smart guy. If I were wrong, don't you think I'd know?
There you go. I knew you were going to say something along those lines. So the apparel actually plays a slightly different role than the equipment itself. The apparel, when somebody wears a T-shirt out with a logo on it, right? That is free branding to the public for you, right? Yeah. You want your apparel to be very high-end. You want your apparel to be exclusive. You want that apparel to be worn by pretty wealthy, pretty good-looking people. Specifically, so everybody else in the world sees that logo on that good-looking fitness influencer and says, man, they're doing something right. I want to be a part of that. It's exclusive. So the apparel, you can have, like I said, the equipment, these subscriptions, you can have tiers. You can make it more accessible to people. But the apparel, that branding, that needs to be very high-end, specifically so people say, man, that's good stuff. I want that logo on my body. I'm one of those people who never wears logos. A lot of people are that way. But the people who do specifically wear logos specifically wear a company's logo. They're not wearing it for a cool design. They're wearing it because they want that logo. They want the Nike swoosh. They want the Under Armour UA. They want the whatever. You know what I mean?
So it's crazy because I have a lot of like my corporate shirts, the polos that they give me. they're Nike.
Mhm.
And I try to match I've been thinking about trying to match the collar of the shirt with a Sharpie so I can cover up the Nike swoosh, because I disagree with that company so much that I don't want anybody at all thinking that I support them. But there are other brands like my jeans. I don't,
Yeah.
there's nothing on.
Oh, your mic. We lost your mic. David, we lost your mic.
It's flashing. There we go. I'm
There
back.
you go. Okay.
There we go. Sorry, I touched the cable. That's what happened. That's
Don't
how
do it.
freaking ginger this is. So sure, come on, man.
Sure.
It's
a great mic.
The new ones are a lot better, but damn.
Yeah, it's a great mic, but man, that connection is flimsy.
Yeah. There should be a ways that you take that inside the housing there, but we'll talk later. But next up, we're looking at repeat rate. How often do we get a customer to buy? These are those KPIs that we're talking about. And the return rate, how much of this stuff comes back?
Right. And that's all pretty standard retail stuff. That's kind of baked into a lot of stuff.
Yep. But we need to have something for us to do those KPI, those key performance indexes, to just kind of checks and balances of what we're doing, what's working, what's not working. And then we have our event participation. This is the Peloton U. So we have Peloton U is split up into two categories: is the apparel and the community, because we want to build a community between these. When I see a person out there wearing a Peloton shirt, I want to feel like I've already got a connection with that person.
Right.
Now, we can go even further and say you are not eligible for this tiering of shirts. Let's say train, we'll stop when we're done, not when we're tired. Let's say we have that slogan on there. And you don't get that unless you've done 30 days of training and stretching and all the whole way through.
It's the exclusivity of the apparel.
It doesn't matter if you have to order a XXX or whether you are a large.
Right. You meet the goal, you meet the goal.
That's right. It's meeting the goal. So when the guy that's muscle bound, real fit, sees the guy that looks like me, fat and old, wearing that shirt, that means to him, that's my brother in arms right there. He put in the work to earn that. They're going to talk.
Another way to say that, David.
They're going to talk.
Gamification. Gamification. As I mentioned before, it's gamification. That T-shirt with that special slogan that you only get from achieving that specific goal is the gamification. That you get these tiers, these special rewards, if you achieve these different levels or goals in the Peloton platform. So
So I know,
and they need to look at it as a platform.
About the zombies.
No, I wasn't joking. I think it's a great idea.
But I think it's a genius. I think it's.
And here's the thing: you could have something like that could be huge on Halloween. Have a zombie run, a Peloton zombie run.
Peloton Z.
Yeah.
The Peloton Z run.
That's it. It's a real. It could be huge.
Yeah.
All right.
It'd be great. It'd be great. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next slide here.
There you go.
And I'll be damned if I remember anything about it. So
phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Oh, okay. So these are the phasings of the how we're going to break this down. Okay, it's finally come up. Phase 1, we're talking about the new launch. That's what we want. That's the 0 to 3 months where we're at. This is a very ambitious time frame, a very ambitious goal, but Peloton needs an ambitious goal.
Right.
Period. And I also
playing it like ultra conservative, ultra safe is going to tank the company. You need to be ambitious. You need to move fast.
Exactly.
Move the old phrase in the tech world: move fast and break things. It's an adage for a reason. It needs to happen.
Yep. And so now here we're talking about the launches of the retail and the core equipment, how those are going to go out. The Flex and Go app tiers go live. I mean, it talks about how the breakdown goes, so that if you had to put together a Gantt chart of which ones of these go, could you push some in and pull some in and push some out? You could do that in your Gantt chart for this to see exactly which one's going to work better for you. But in general, this is a pretty good phased layout, and it's 36 months. This is a 3-year plan,
right?
And you're talking about developing a smart weight. And then more importantly, the more complicated one is the smart tower. In 18 months, we have a smart weight launch. In 18 to 36 months, we have a smart tower release. That smart tower is going to be that's going to be epic.
It's going to be huge. So, and all of these are very, very much doable. I mean, if you put David and I in charge of this with the appropriate budget, we could easily achieve this within 24 months, let alone 36, easily.
I would like to keep it at 36. 36 gives us the buffer because.
Well, no, I'm just saying we easily could. Now the rollout
stuff has to be done.
Well, I'm just saying we could. The rollout is a different matter.
Yeah.
And I'm not even so worried about engineering. I'm just saying 36 months is if you can't achieve these in 3 years, you're not trying.
Yeah. 3 years I think is great on this. And it's a big deal. I think we've got a lot here to work with. I think we got a lot of things to be successful with. It's whether or not Peloton would be willing to make this investment and break their status quo. Their status quo has led them to the brink of bankruptcy.
That's it. Again, they hit a high point during COVID. They rode that wave thinking that was going to last forever. They didn't realize the bubble they were in.
With no forward plan, with no pivot. Imagine if we took this plan to them in 2021 and somebody there said, yeah, we need to be ready for the fall when we come out of this.
Right.
And built this. Peloton would be, Peloton shares would be $150 a share, but it would have split by now.
Right.
And it would still be back up to $150.
That's it.
So,
that's it.
Yeah.
All of this stuff
is
achievable.
All right, what do we got next? I think I limited myself to 10 slides because my standard slides is like 35 in a presentation, and I have some that have like 70 or 80 slides. So I limited myself to 10 slides. My 30 slides is a 2-hour presentation. So Peloton. So we have our external facing brand, which is what was it we said there? I completely forgot it was. But anyway, it was the where the you or where the why, where your why, and all that fun jazz. But Peloton, our internal facing is restructure, reconfigure, recommit. And that's what we want to see, is we want to see us restructure, reconfigure. Restructure is a big deal because you guys have a lot of dead weight that you need to get rid of.
That's it.
Reconfigure, that speaks for itself. And then you need to recommit to the niche of enthusiast. Now, this is for entertainment purposes only. No one from Peloton was. Go ahead.
You're good. For entertainment purposes only, no one from Peloton was harmed during the creation of this PowerPoint on purpose.
Yeah. There might be some people that was like, man, these people randomly freaking came up with this on a goofy ass podcast show on the internet, and we've paid millions of dollars for somebody to fix this and did nothing. So that person may have gotten hurt, but it wasn't on purpose.
Oh, big companies.
Peloton and other logos are trademarks of their various owners and do not belong to us whatsoever. Yes, this is a better plan than they have. No, it's not official. Yes, they should hire us to fix it. Yes, I own both the bike and the treadmill from Peloton. No, I do not use them as much as I should.
Peloton, I don't have your bike or your treadmill at all. I do have a bike and an elliptical. If you want to send me all of your equipment to test, I will use them daily, all of them daily.
I'll give you a 30-day free trial to Peloton Go.
There you go. But seriously, if Peloton, I know this is a little self-serving, but if Peloton actually did do what we're recommending, they would be on top once again.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Because I've got more growth metrics that are for this, and this really only goes through 4 things. But I lump 2 together, the Peloton U together, because I'm a big fan of doing things in 3. You can't focus. If you try to focus on 10 things, you're not focusing. If you try to focus on 5 things, you're also not focusing. 3, that's the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
Three's focus. So we have our subscription, we have our products, and we have our Peloton U, and I'm gonna call it our community, which includes the apparel and the community events.
That's it.
So I lumped those two together mainly because I wanted to do the 3. And you need to do what we said. Is what you need to. Which is freaking what you need to do is call us. We got this.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid, because we're going to fire most of you.
I wouldn't say fire. I would say reallocate resources appropriately.
Peloton. That was the one I was looking for. Peloton. Everybody. And remember, it's not one word, so it's not everybody.
Everybody. Yeah.
Every goal, every budget.
There you go.
Peloton.
It's good. It's good. So look, if Peloton doesn't do something very similar to what we're recommending, they're not even trying. We're not recommending anything super revolutionary. A couple of things were pretty revolutionary. I think a couple of things were unique enough. They would be the only ones in the entire world doing it. But generally speaking, nothing's that revolutionary that their teams can't come up with this unless they're specifically told by their leadership, play it safe.
Yeah.
And play it safe means...
You know what play it safe is going to do? Play it safe means you're bankrupt.
Yeah, play it safe means keep us alive just long enough for me to get my bonus so I can retire.
Yeah. Get your bonus and get out.
That's it.
But everybody else is gone.
That's it. So
if you actually want to build the business,
this is it. We just gave you a roadmap. If you
we did.
If you took the captions of this video, literally, you can download the captions of this video from Facebook or YouTube, upload them into ChatGPT, say create a branding and marketing plan that I can present to top executives at Peloton based on this content. It would write it up in a second. You could present it. You'd be a rock star, and you would own that marketing team.
Or call me and I'll send you the deck.
Or better yet, hire us and we'll take care of it for you. Yeah,
we'll get it for you. I mean, yeah, it's great.
But no, this was a good recommendation from you, David. This all was David's idea. He has Pelotons, so he's probably been noodling on this for a while. It's probably been a pick in the back of your brain that you've been wanting to.
Those things are downstairs. I rarely go downstairs because while I'm not OCD, I'm not I don't have an affliction from anxiety or depression or any of that. I do have an issue that I need the things around me to be orderly.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be perfect. I don't have a specific spot that something needs to be in, but there needs to be a general organization around me.
Fair enough.
And while I love my children, they are messy as hell.
Yep.
And they go down the stairs in the basement, and my son will dig through and find some one thing, and he'll make a god-awful mess. And my daughter will play with toys and whatnot down there and make a god-awful mess. And when I'm down there and the treadmill looks forward out at all that stuff.
It's got a giant TV on it with videos of girls running on the beach, David.
I rarely actually use that. Normally I have my headphones on and I'm just listening to Metallica.
Fair enough.
But it makes for funnier jokes to talk about the people on the beach and the booty and whatnot. But it feels like the inside of my head is itchy. I need to scratch it. When I'm sitting there on the treadmill and I see this stuff, and I'm just like, I spent hours down here cleaning, and they've messed it up.
Yep.
And it's just cacophony everywhere.
That's hilarious.
So I don't go down there as much as I should. I might just turn the equipment around
there, just face the wall,
and at that point it'll be fine.
Right, I get it. That's pretty funny. So I actually do work out a couple times a day. I work out in the mornings as soon as I wake up, and again right before I go to bed. And if I had Peloton equipment, I'd probably use it. So Peloton, send me your stuff, and I will give you an honest review.
It's good stuff. No, so I don't ride the bike because I'm fat, and putting all that weight on my goods is not what I want to do. But the treadmill.
Yeah, you said your wife uses them, right?
Yeah, she uses both of them all the time. But I use the treadmill, again, not as much as I should. But even I'm a big guy, and that treadmill doesn't bat an eye. It doesn't feel like it's getting, like, oh my Lord, it's going to fall apart if I were to like really run on it.
Yeah.
Even the big heavy duty golds or whatever that's in the gyms.
Oh yeah.
Every time I've ran on one of those, I'm like, this thing's gonna break. This thing's gonna break. This thing's gonna break. This thing's gonna break.
Right.
The Peloton. No, that thing's a freaking tank.
I ran on yours once when it was in your garage.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. It's solid. It doesn't budge an inch.
It is rock solid.
Yeah.
But it's rock solid, but it because of the way the treads are, because they're rubberized treads as opposed to a track, it's soft as can be if you're up there just moving along. It's great. It really is a great product. So, and that's where they have a thing. Now, we didn't dig into customer service and support and anything in this, but those are the things we would look at, Peloton, when you hire us because you need us, that we would dig into in more detail. But I mean, all in all, it's worth it. I put it this way: it's worth saving.
There you go. So, David, I think you should take your deck, not the version that I have because the formatting got messed up. Take your deck, send it to Peloton, and see what they say.
Yeah, I'll reach out to. I'll find some contact.
Look on LinkedIn. You can find every executive. Just do a little online stalking. We got this. That's awesome. I think the stuff you recommended is huge. That's great information.
Yeah. Like here you go. Here's a free taste. Here's a free taste.
That's it. So, fitness companies hire David and I to rebuild your brand. We obviously exude fitness. Exude.
Yeah, West will host the workout sessions. I'll host the bourbon drinking sessions.
Look, if there were a bourbon drinking session for Peloton, it'd be pretty cool. Look, Planet Fitness has pizza day. I'm just saying. Planet Fitness, a national gym chain of gyms, has pizza day, where you go in and have pizza and work out.
They were in my mind for for Peloton to raise capital and purchase.
Yeah. Look, if Peloton had their own gyms, go to Peloton Gym. Nobody else is doing it. It could be huge.
Yeah. So you have, and I would franchise it. Okay. So this is what we call the death in the coffin for, what's the seafood restaurant?
Red Lobster?
Yeah, Red Lobster.
Yeah.
And I was like, I use that term lightly. But the seafood Red Lobster, where Red Lobster literally just screwed over all of the owners, where they said, oh, we're going to restructure, we're going to save the brand. And basically what they did was they bought all this stuff, and then they split the company to where the retail people and the franchise owners had to buy from this one company that they also owned. So all of these businesses were losing money, but this business was making money hand over fist. So they were able to take the losses over here, mix it with it was a gambit, and that should have never been allowed. But
that was a very shady thing they did. So you're right. That's funny. That is totally what sank them. By the way, Elvis posted a link to the CEO's LinkedIn page.
LinkedIn, nice.
There you go.
So I haven't seen Elvis in Jesus, Mary and Joseph. So I don't think I've seen Elvis since we graduated high school together.
Oh wow!
So that was in May of 1998.
Oh wow, you're old.
So we're old. You graduated the same year, bro.
Speak for yourself. I'm 27.
Yeah, bro. You just look 27. I just look 57. But we're literally like the same age.
Literally.
But if anything, actually, he's actually a little older than I am.
I'm an old man.
Nobody believes that.
I'm 112 years old.
So yeah. So Elvis, what do you think? Which do you think this is enough to go forward? He says he's back in the building. LOL.
There you go.
See, that's a good sense of humor right there.
It is.
So that reminds me. I went up to. Okay, I gotta have another story before I get to the next story.
You got a story before the story. Okay.
Yes. So have you ever watched The Blacklist?
The first season and a half, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So you know how Redding always has there's a story to everything. If somebody's like, good morning, he's like, I was once told good morning by a guy in pajamas in the the desert of Arabia. He goes into this stuff.
Yeah, James Spader's awesome.
And yeah, James Spader's character is just great. And I was like, man, I really like this character. I really like this character. And then he tells us he's at the next scene after I'm thinking about this, and somebody says something. He goes, you know what? I had some juice from this, whatever it was that he was talking about. And I'm like, holy shit, it's me. Like, I never answer a question. I tell a story that answers the question.
It's true. It's true, David. We all know this about you.
It is extremely true. It's extremely true. So in my meetings, like with my customers, they'll call and they'll go, hey, here's this. What can we do this? Well, sometimes the answer is just yes or no, but I never use yes or no. I tell the context, I give the story, I give the meaning, and then I lead them to the answer. And they're like, dude, that was awesome. Like, sorry, I never use one word when 7,000 will do.
It's your sales background.
Yeah, I guess. So I do think more than enough to go on. Peloton is self-destructive if they don't take at least one of these ideas and run with it. Yeah. And yeah, it is self-destructive. They did not think forward. They did not look forward. They did not project the dip. They did not project what was, by any stretch of the imagination, a temporary boost for them. I mean, it's great. So if I'm a business owner and I got that kind of launch, that's great. But I need to be shifting gears. And Wes, do you have a drink ready?
Yes.
I need to be shifting gears and be ready to pivot.
Oh boy. Because
at a moment's notice, I need to shift into this new direction, this new path. So Elvis, seeing as how you're a newer viewer, whenever either one of us use one of these, what we call bullshit businessisms, basically is a word that you don't really need to use, but everybody does in business, like vertical and synergy. Synergy is the coup de grace, or pivot. Then we have to drink. So to pivot.
To pivot. I already drank mine. So, but yes, we all know that you can't answer a yes or no question without telling a whole story.
Oh, no, I can't.
That's the story before the story.
I got to tell a story.
What's the story that you were going to tell after we know the story of the story of the story?
Okay, so what was the question now?
Elvis says pivot. I think it was something about you and Elvis. You haven't seen him since high school. And you said you were going to say something, but first you have to tell a story before the story, and you went on to explain why you have to tell a story.
No idea. No,
we've reached that portion of the show, and that's pretty typical.
The context has not caught up with me. At 2:00 in the morning, I'll wake up and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember what that was."
Son of a bitch.
But for right now, it's an empty tomb.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But yes, I think you should absolutely send your deck to everybody at Peloton. Be like, look, guys, you have a big opportunity here. But honestly, and something I was going to say after Elvis's previous comment about Peloton not, taking this advice seriously, and then you had mentioned at the same time they were riding the wave from COVID.
Yeah, they were riding.
Look, I was with a really, really big company. I was with a Fortune 500 company at the time of COVID, and the executives were doing exactly what you say in 21 and 22, which is they looked at the previous year's numbers and they said, "Oh, we need to add 20% to that number," without realizing that's a crazy bubble. That is an unprecedented bubble that has never existed in all of human history. That type of an event during an industrial period that we're currently in, you can't go into 2022 and look at 2021 numbers. You can't even look at 2021 and look at 2020 numbers. You need to go back to 2019 to get any honest numbers to anticipate what you're going to be in.
I sans 2020 and 2021 always.
Always. I say 22
Give me the data. I'm taking those two numbers out as if they didn't exist.
Right.
They didn't exist. And we go from 2019 to 2022.
I would jump over 22 also. I would say people did. I would say it didn't really get back on track until 23, and even then,
I know
there's so
but
much.
we've got to have some traction there, and that gives us a ramp up and a ramp down.
It
so
does.
that gives that flat. Let me rephrase that. That gives us 2 years to flatten the curve.
Right, it does. But here's the problem: is the economy has been a roller coaster. A roller coaster, mostly because of political reasons. I know we don't talk politics on the show, but mostly because of political reasons and the leadership at the time. It's been a roller coaster. And even up until now, it's still kind of a roller coaster because we're going in a really good direction, even though all the analysts say we should be going in a different direction. It's such a weird time. I don't think anything's actually leveled out since 2020.
No, and it hasn't. And the divisiveness will continue. And
Because
luckily for most of the business
yeah.
people, we've already weighted that in.
Right. We've
already weighted that in. For my projections, I use pragmatic. I'm a bit of a pragmatist, and a realist. I use real numbers, and I get people all the time that call me up and like, well, David, our projections show this. I'm like, well, give me your data.
Right, that's it. Hey, by the way, I saw that.
Sit there and show them how stupid they are.
By the way, I saw that Chris Morgan is watching. Chris Morgan, is this the same Chris Morgan for Morgan
Bone
Morgan
Pipes? Yeah, is that Morgan Pipes?
I actually
we need a pipe. I need a pipe. I don't have your contact information. I need a pipe.
But yeah, so Chris, if you're watching, hit us up in the comments. David wants to buy your pipes. I have my Bones pipe right here. And we actually interviewed Chris a couple of years ago. And, man, his pipes are awesome. So, honestly, look for the Morgan's pipes. Highly recommended. David, you wanted to give one of these to an acquaintance of yours.
So, if he's watching, are you still under a massive backlog? Because as I recall, I mean, he was selling them as fast or faster than he could make them.
They're popular. They're popular pipes.
So, on my desk, I keep the jar of Lane 1Q.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and sometimes I just open it up and I set it there because I'll be sitting in meetings that just frustrate the holy hell out of me. And I'll just open that up, and it's candy. It is a grown man's candy to smell that delicious the Lane 1Q cigar. And I've got my pipe's right over here now. And I'm thinking about moving it over to my actual work desk because my wife, if I smoke the Lane 1Q, I can't smoke the Father Dempsey, but I can smoke the Lane 1Q and she will not say a word.
Yeah, the room note on that is awesome. I actually, it's one of those tobaccos that, so it's an aromatic, so it's not for everybody. So a lot of purists say they don't like the aromatics. I think it smells amazing. It's one of those smells that, like, you think of like...
You like what you like.
You watch Lord of the Rings, and you think, okay, when Gandalf is smoking that pipe, you think he smells like Lane 1Q. Like, that's what you think he smells like.
Old Toby.
That's what Old Toby smells like. It has to.
Yeah.
The old long bottom leaf.
Old Toby. Yeah. Finest weed in the South Farthing. Yep. Oh, man.
And yes, Tolkien was a tobaccanoid plant, not actual weed. They call it
not
weed
marijuana.
No, he was not a pot smoker. But David, it's been a good show, man. It's been a fun show.
Yeah.
Peloton, take our advice for it.
It's been good.
David, send that to Peloton, and I think they're going to give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, someone will call us, probably their lawyer, and be like, "What the hell are you guys thinking doing this?"
Yeah, especially with Matt's comments with the
have money left for lawyers.
Yeah. Boy, I didn't realize some of the lawsuits that Use guys had mentioned earlier in the show. I didn't realize some of those, but boy, they got some
they had
brand
some
building to do after that.
They had some big issues.
So yeah, they might be all lawyered out.
To be fair, treadmills are not safe for everyone to be around.
Well, holy moly! I didn't realize a kid got killed.
Motorized conveyor belts that we just walk on top of.
That's bonkers.
There's a little bit of, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to stop right there.
Yeah, let's end on a high note. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
So
let's leave on a high note. And let's talk about the best weed in the South Farthing, Old Toby.
Old Toby. There you go. All right. So Chris Morgan, if you're still watching, your pipes are incredible. Everybody check out Morgan Bones Pipes.
Reach out to me if you got to go through Wes to do it. Absolutely. If you don't have my contact information, which you should, but reach out to me. There is a person I promised that I would get a pipe for, and I told them I would specifically look for your pipes for them. So, yeah.
So he has a website. He has a website. So it's morganpipes.com. Go to morganpipes.com.
There is a significant difference between just putting an order in online and talking to the guy. Saying, I need this.
That's a good point.
And then just, hey, here's Venmo or whatever. That pipe.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I get it. And Chris is a really good guy. We interviewed him. He's a really super great guy. But yeah, go to morganpipes.com. Also, don't forget to go to, that's the wrong slide.
Underdog Plus.
Go to Underdog Plus, get your delicious dog treats. Go to I'm trying to find the website for the Vote for Matt Welch.
The website for the
there you go.
Cook-off.
Yep.
The what do you call it? White trash cooking or something like that? Trailer trash cooking? I don't know what you call it.
No, that was Matt who said that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't listen to what Matt says. Vagabond Kitchen's actually really, really high end, like gourmet cuisine in the heart of Wheeling, of all places. Holy moly! But there's the screen there. I'm going to drop it in the comments. Everybody, go here, vote for Matt Welch. He absolutely deserves it. And there you go. Hit on that. Hit on that link.
That'll be the first thing I do after the show is click that link and go. The second thing I'm going to do is click the link from Elvis there and reach out to Peter Stern from Peloton in LinkedIn and send him the deck that I created for his business plan and say, hey, we got work to do.
There you go. Exactly. But in the meantime, I've been Wes. This guy was David. That guy back there used to be Matt Harmon. Elvis says, "Great show, guys. Elvis, it's good talking to you, man. I don't know you, but I hear great things about you." And we will see you guys.
Pretty cool. He did a talent show at the high school once, and he did, I can't remember what it was called, the auction song. It was a country song. And I can't remember, but I remember that show. I remember that thing because I have, me and my memory is like weird as can be.
It's weird.
But I remember every single thing about it. And, he was an outgoing guy then and was awesome. Very computer oriented back in the day. So, hey, Elvis, if for some reason over the past number of years you've decided that, hey, you wanted to program Python or C+, we'd like to talk to you. So give us a call at 1-800 the Underdog Plus. That's not a real phone number. Do not call
Don't
that.
call it. No.
Just ping us through Facebook. And he's been Wes Carnahan. I've been David Leffingwell. This has been the Underdog Journey, and we will see you guys next week. We may be as early as Tuesday next week.
That's right. You got some traveling ahead of you.
Because I want to do it without being interfered with, and during the show, which starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time, will be 2 p.m. where I am. So internet, get busy doing the math on that. Find out where David's going to be. Yeah, I'm going to be in Hawaii. I'll be at Maui.
You're not supposed to tell them. They're supposed to do the math.
Well, if people watch here when I play the game next week of where the hell is David, they'll have the heads up, and they may win the prize, which is nothing. So, yeah, sure.
Fair enough. All right.
So he's been Wes. I've been Dave. We're going to see you guys next week, probably on Tuesday of next week, just to make sure we're free and clear. And we love you guys all. Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth.
There you go. And we'll see you next week.
All right.
was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt fool cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt